And we are live. What is going on, everyone? It's your boy Johnny Dunn, and we are back with another one. Today, epic VeVe live stream. Just one drop today. It is a comic book blind box once again. It's not a holy grail comic book, but I do think it's a decent one. I'm going to go over my hodl or sell strategy after I go over the details of it today. Shout out to the live chat joining the live stream today. We got December Bitcoin in the building first right away. Trying to get the drop today, trying to do anything. We're rooting big for December today. Shout out KCBMW as well. I do like the covers on these. I think I like the secret rare today the most out of all of the cover rarities, which is probably the first in a little while, so that's good to see. Shout out to the secret rare holders out there. I do think the secret rares are going to go up big time once we can put these comics in the showroom, especially with all the rarities, the commons, the uncommons, the ultra rares, a lot of those exclusive VeVe covers. So we got 30,000 total editions today. We have 21,000 total for the common. We have 5,000 uncommon. We have 2,350 rare editions today. We have 1,050 ultra rare and 600 secret rare editions today. So again, your typical run, nothing too crazy today. It's not going to be your ultra limited 1,000 edition run. And again, it's not like a 70,000 edition run, just your typical edition count. So we have the common today. I do like the common. I think it looks pretty cool. I like the cover art there. Not the biggest fan of the uncommon today. Don't really feel like that pops out. I do like the rare. I feel like the Captain America there in the blue with the white and black background definitely pops. I do like that one. And the ultra rare. I like the ultra rare too. Big fan of the rare and the ultra rare. I think also the black title there, Iron Man and Captain America, that kind of stands out with that white and black background. Big fan of the ultra rare. And the secret rare just looks clean. That all white background there. This is the first appearance of Peggy Carter as well. Simone, how we doing, fam? Glad to see you in the live today. Ask a question. What's up, Johnny? How you doing? You think there will be a March pump? I think it will be hard if there is still a panic in the world from Ukraine-Russia conflict. Yeah, shout out to you, Simone, for joining today. Asking a great question. I'm not too sure exactly when we're going to see another pump. It could be March. It could be April. It could be May. It could be sometime this summer. The fact that there will be another pump, absolutely. There's always going to be pumps. There's always going to be a little lull time, down period. It's just the ebb and flow of the market. The good thing about being here since last March, it's unbelievable. It's coming up on the 1-year anniversary now. Shout out to anyone who was here since March or even February. And shout out to anyone who was in VeVe before the public launch in January. But the thing about being here for so long is you understand that there's always cycles. There's always a point in time where, the euphoria is high in the market. People feel like that's just going to keep going up forever. People also feel like on the exact opposite end, when we're at a kind of a standstill, the market's kind of stagnant like we're at right now. Not too much movement in the market. People are kind of thinking like, we'll never see another pump again, right? There's kind of that scariness to it. But I think as long as the fundamentals haven't changed, which they haven't, just like we've seen back in March, April, May, it's always going to be ups and downs in the market. I definitely think there will be another run-up sometime #soon. I'm not too sure exactly when. We did see a nice little pump recently. I mean, not too high, but a lot of things that were at extreme lows have rebounded. And I think we're just going to wait until, a couple more weeks go by. March is International Women's Month, so I expect some more drops to happen around that theme. But March, April, you never know when the pump could happen. I would say just don't get too worried thinking that it'll never happen ever again. Kelvin, how we doing, brother? Just led in the building. August is still early, my man. Anytime you can get into VeVe, the first couple seasons. I mean, we're still only on season 3 right now. Kind of feels like season 4 or 5 by now, but we're still in season 3. And the first 3 seasons of VeVe, I think, are going to be legendary. The first one obviously is going to be the most iconic. It's the true beta season. But again, season 2, season 3, we're about to be on season 5 soon. So 4 and 5 are going to be right around the corner. Time does fly in VeVe too. I think for a few different reasons. One, because it's fun. I mean, we're all collecting things that we've been fans of for our whole lives. A lot of this kind of brings back that nostalgia feeling. And so when you're having fun collecting, investing, and doing all these things, time moves fast, especially because we're all tied into the crypto markets every hour, tuned into the marketplace. We're just also in the micro. And when you're always in the micro, time tends to speed up on you pretty quickly. You'll look up and realize, holy cow, it's been a year or two. Maybe DC Artist Alley Series 2. That'd be interesting, Simone. We haven't really seen too many DC collectibles drop recently. A lot of it's been the Disney licenses or maybe Marvel. A lot of people have been thinking that it's like a Disney app right now. And shout out to Disney because, I mean, that's one of the biggest brands on VeVe right now. We are going to be getting another Rewind drop as well this month. Good morning, JD. How are we doing today? Doing well. Sway Collects, feeling great, feeling wonderful, as NFT non-fungible wonderful always says. Shout out to It's Wonderful. I think he's working on a deluxe album right now. Feeling wonderful, man. Feeling great, though. Feeling great. First appearance, Black Widow collectible is my prediction this month. Could happen. Could happen. This is a good question, Kelvin. I definitely want to talk about some of my regrets. I always talk about the good moves I made on VeVe. But I've definitely made some regrets, too. I think some of my purchases that I do regret are probably ones that I would say that I didn't actually love. I just went for maybe the speculation or the hype or the master collector program, and I didn't really love that collectible. So when it starts to dip, I think like, I don't really love this collectible. I got it kind of for the wrong reasons. Wrong is like a debatable topic, but I would say the collectibles I regret are the ones that I don't actually love and I just buy for a different reason. And just because when the prices dip on those, I always think I could use that cash or use those gems for something else. That's why it's so important, I think, especially in the future, to go after the collectibles or comics that you really, really love. Because you never know when dips could happen. And if you collect the things that you enjoy, like say if the Todd McFarlane Batman or the Rizzo, when those things dip, I don't mind it all because I love those collectibles. I'm not really looking to sell them. It's really the ones that I'm looking to maybe make a quick flip on. I made the wrong decision timing-wise when to buy it, and then I have to hold on to it longer than I want. I would say those are the collectibles I regret. I don't really have too many there, to be honest, and that's probably my problem is that I am a collector, so anything I do buy, it's usually because I love it. I love too many things. J East Music, how we doing, brother? I would say one of my biggest regrets, though, is the one that I stacked. Just because it was just a wrong decision. I wasn't really educated about comics yet, so I would say that Hulk comic, I think it's the Immortal or the Incredible Hulk, maybe it is. The common. I bought, I think, maybe 40 of these. This is when I had a few thousand gems in my wallet. So I was like, you know what? I'm going to stack a comic that's really cheap right now. And without doing any kind of research, I just made a terrible gut. I've had a lot of gut feelings that were correct. But this is one of those that was not correct. And so I just stacked the wrong comic. I would say that's probably my biggest regret. Just lack of information, lack of knowledge. Didn't take the time to do my research just yet. Let's go. Just led. Couldn't help myself and went with my heart and bought an ultra rare Delorean a couple days ago. Shout out to you, Just led. Hopefully you got it before the big run up. I think they just announced in the last AMA that the Delorean is drivable or will be drivable. I didn't get a chance to listen to it. I was on the golf course when they had the AMA. So didn't really get a chance to say exactly what was going to be the case with that one. But they have said before that the Delorean will be drivable. I know the common will be. I assume the ultra rare will be as well. I think it was around $700 before they made that announcement. And now it's over $1,000. So that's good to see. Shout out to the holders out there. Just led. I only have one of those ultra rares left. So it's good to see that. Let's do a bet, fam. How long until JD starts sniffling? 30 minutes, 35 minutes. Let's take a bet. I feel great right now, so we'll see. Good morning, JD. Thoughts on Dragon Girl? Billy the Kid. Dragon Girl is one of my favorite collectibles. Anybody who's been tuned in since the very beginning understands that. How I feel about the Dragon Girls. I also have 2 Dragon Girls, so that's probably why I'm a little bit biased there. I have 2 ultra rare gold and silver Dragon Girls from season 1. It's that last set of the season. I think that's going to be iconic because of that reason. It's the first ever premium artwork on the app. Only artwork in season 1. And then the secret rare all gold one, I think, just looks amazing too. A lot of debate which one looks better, the gold and silver or the all gold one. To be honest, I can't really tell. I like them both just as much. I do like the gold and silver value-wise a little bit more just because there is only 888 editions of them. Season 1. It's been about, I think, as low as 1.9K recently, 2.2K, I think. It's been about that range, maybe 2.5K. I can check it out in the market right now. Let's see. The secret rare is less than 1,000. I think that's a steal right now. 798. Not financial advice. I'm not a financial advisor. These are my opinions only, everybody. But I think that secret rare under $800. I mean, I bought mine for almost like double what that is. I bought mine for over 1,000 when it first came out. I do like that one. The ultra rare is 2.3K right now. I do see that one going back up to at least, I think it was, I forget what the all-time high was, but I see this one at least going up to 5K. But again, for how cheap that secret rare one is right now, that might be a better buy. It might be just so cheap, hard to pass up right now. I will be going over in a couple more minutes until that 30-minute mark some of these prices in the market. Okay. Simone trying to get that physical Todd Batman. I want a Todd McFarlane Batman statue, but because I live in France, the shipping is $100, so I ain't paying that. I used to live in America for 10 years, missing Chick-fil-A and Five Guys. Yeah, shout out to you. Shout out to everyone living in France right now as well. Yeah, America, I mean, we're definitely not known to have the healthiest food out there. Some of the fast food can be absolutely horrible for you. Simone, I think it's a good buy to get that Todd McFarlane physical statue, though. Not financial advice. I think it's something if you're into the VeVe, if you believe in VeVe long term, you always want to have that memory of the VeVe collectibles first ever NFT on the app. That's why I got my Todd McFarlane statue. I thought I had it down below. I forgot I had it up on my little shelf there. Let's go. The volume 1 Todd McFarlane Batman is almost like $1,000 or $2,000 right now, I want to say. The volume 2, I think you can get cheaper. But again, for that $100 shipping, it is kind of annoying. But I think it could be worth it. There's not too many left. The VeVe effect is definitely pushing that price up on these Todds. And I think as VeVe becomes more popular, as VeVe becomes a household name worldwide, to have the Todd McFarlane Batman is just going to be incredible. In the digital and physical world, to be honest. VeVe Light On, let's go. Had to turn it on. I got the drop last time with it off. But you know what? I felt like it's time to turn it back on. We got the light on today. We got it popping. Let's go. All right, I'm going to be going over the marketplace prices right now on a couple of these. Superman, 198 left, 3.3K. It's been hovering around that range right now. It's been kind of stagnant. We got Steamboat Willie, 3.9K. It's been chilling around there for a little while as well. We got Givenchy, 93 left. Pride, 7.1K. It's been holding its price pretty well. The Rewind logo, one's dipped down to $8.99. I think that could be a good opportunity right there. I mean, Rewind's dropping another drop sometime in March. So having that first edition Rewind could be a big deal. I only have one of those. Look at the House of Cards Amelia. I tried letting go of my 100 mint. It's like 170 something. Around like 3.8K. I was hoping it would sell. I'd buy back the floor at 1.6. But mine just never sold, so I just delisted it. We only got 42 left of those. We have 40 left. House of Cards Cleopatra, the gold card, 2.4K. Love the way that one looks. Yeah, Dragon Girl Gold is 2.3K. Not too many to go until 4.5. That's good to see. That's the all gold and silver one. Golden Moments. Let's take a look at the Golden Moments prices in the market. I agree. The Dragon Girls will boom on Immutable X, OpenSea. And a few different reasons why I think so. One, it's licensed by Tokidoki. Tokidoki already has NFTs on different platforms. The co-founder of Tokidoki is an artist himself, Simone Legnu. That's Simone Legnu's work. It's actually not made in the physical world. Until recently, he just made a couple of those physically. So I really believe that those Dragon Girls, especially Season 1, even the Secret Rare that's not Season 1, that'll do well too because that's based off this Season 1 Dragon Girl. I think both, even the commons, the uncommons from Season 1, those Dragon Girls, I think are going to do amazing. I think it's going to blow people Blow people's predictions out of the water, I believe. Let's go. Kryptoni got the Todd and the Walt making moves. This is a great time, in my opinion. Shout out to you, Kryptoni. Great job making moves in the market right now. Manifesting that green truck today. Let's go. Fingers crossed. Again, guys, I don't think this comic book's like a holy grail. I think, there definitely will be probably better comics to drop and on the VeVe app right now to invest on. Not financial advice, just my opinions only. But if I get, a 3-digit common or something like that, or just another common high digit, I'll probably just keep it. Just because I don't think it's going to be that valuable right away. I'd rather just hold it. It's another original comic owned by the kid. If I get an ultra rare, though, secret rare this time on this comic book drop, I think everybody would be pissed at me if I did. But if I get one, hopefully I do, I would flip it right away for some gems. That's usually my problem. Like I said, I would probably flip the Black Panther on the drop. I got the secret rare and I end up keeping it. I get attached to them. So I think this is definitely a comic book to where if you get a secret rare or ultra rare, I don't think there's any problem at all trying to put it in the marketplace right away, get a quick sale. Let's go, Kelvin. Yeah, absolutely. Claire is awesome. Claire's been here since the very beginning. Claire's just like me. She's been loyal since day one. Never fudded VeVe, never gave up on VeVe. She's had hardcore beliefs since day one. And not to mention her collection is enormous. Her collection is unbelievable. She has a lot of collectibles that I wish I had. And so she's been just an awesome person in the community. She's also a Discord mod. So it's great that you guys connected. Let me get some comments, and then I'm going to go over some of these prices. Yeah, so Bo, that's the only troublesome part of buying when you don't really know the history of them yet. It's hard to tell when the all-time high is at certain points. A lot of the charts, shout out to Cherry Charts. I think he has great charts out there. Ecomi Wiki is another great tool to use. You can see the past performances of a lot of these collectibles and comics. So if you're buying an all-time high or if you're buying an all-time low or anywhere in between. Yucky Charmer Gold or Homer and Bart? J East Music. For me, this is going to depend on your short-term, long-term vision for it. Not financial advice, but on me. For me personally, I would go long-term, Homer and Bart. Short-term, though, that all gold Yucky Charmer might do better short-term if you're trying to time the market. Now, I never suggest trying to time the market because that's always risky. You're kind of playing with fire at that point. You might time it wrong. But I think with the fact that those artist collectibles are interoperable, you're going to be able to send those artist collectibles to your IMX wallet, probably on OpenSea, definitely on Immutable X. Oh, Immutable X is a marketplace on OpenSea. That's how it's going to work. It'll get integrated soon. And so I think because of that's happening in a little bit in the near future, a lot of those artist collectibles could get a huge boost. But I think if you'd rather just close your eyes and sit for the long term and feel safe, for me, it's Homer and Bart. That's my opinion. Just because that's the first ever NFT licensed by Disney that they released. Whether or not that's a Disney character, I mean, that's a Fox character, but Disney owns Fox, and that's a licensed collectible by Disney. It's the first one they ever released. So to me, that's going to have historic value, whether it's a year, 2 years, 3 years, maybe even longer. I don't think it'll take that long to have a significant value. But I think people are going to really pay attention and put an emphasis on what was the first ever NFT licensed by Disney that they released. The whole week's going to be important. That first whole week, every collectible I think is going to be iconic. But I just think Bart and Homer have a great chance to increasing because of that. Let's go. That's solid, Kryptonic. Yeah, I bought a couple rares in the very beginning as well when they were really cheap. Kind of let them go as they went up. Didn't make too much money on those rares. About too many, to be honest. I wanted to really have enough money for the ultra rares. Luckily, I got the ultra rare at 160. I felt like that was a pretty good buy-in. And I think the price went up to like 300. I think it's back down to like 260 right now, maybe even 250. But Doob's in the building. How we doing, brother? It's a good come up right there on that comic, Kryptonic. I'm predicting that today I'm getting 4 W's. KA, 4 dubs. That'd be a lot, my man. Hopefully you do. I don't know how you're going to get 4, but I mean, shout out to you, brother. Hopefully you crush it today. When Ghost Rider to Ghost Trap. You think it's going to interact with the Ghost Trap? That'd be a hilarious little Easter egg if they did something like that. Hey, shout out to Kimmick. Didn't know there was a comic drop today. Friends that I invited last time, they notified me. It's good to have a small VeVe friends. It's good to have a small, I think you meant group of VeVe friends here. Absolutely. Absolutely. And that's the thing. I mean, when you talk to VeVe about a lot of regular people not into NFTs or anything like that, which is pretty much the whole world right now still, that should also tell you how early we are. You know, you seem like a oddball out. I mean, all you want to talk about probably is VeVe NFTs, and everyone in the real world is looking at you like you're an alien, right? Well, it's always great to have, you know, a few close friends or a group of people that are still into the same things that you're into that can alert you when new drops, maybe new announcements. Maybe there's a secret rare drop happen one time. You got 5 minutes to drop unannounced. If you got a group of friends that are on the VeVe app all the time, they can let you know. Maybe take advantage of that opportunity. I think there's still some cheap 3 digits in there, Kelvin. It was hard. I was trying to buy so many commons when they were coming out really, really cheap. But I mean, I just couldn't grab them. I was trying to buy so many 3-digit commons. I just couldn't grab them in time. They were just getting all sniped right before me. I saw crazy deals too. I saw some coming for like $12, $10. Even the ones that were like 70 or like $60 still couldn't snipe. They were just going way too quick. What up, Eric 505? But finally, when the storm ran down a little bit, was able to get one finally. What comic? I don't think it's a crazy low edition mint, but I did grab one. I think I paid a little bit too much for it though. Right now, right now might be a great opportunity to grab something like that. Let me see. What are the 3-digit commons going for right now? The floor on it, the commons is only 33 right now. Sounds like a pretty solid opportunity still. So 236 going for 999, 287, 499, 289, 250. Let's see, is there any under 100? That'd be a steal. Yeah, so none under 100 right now. I was gonna say that'd be a steal if I saw anything like that. Under 200, there's a few under 200, like 170, 155. 155 might be the cheapest. Let's see. 189 for a 667 mint. 199 for a 615. The one that I got, let's see here. So I kept the one that I got on the drop. And then I picked up a 814. I got it for 130. So about like what the prices are right now. Probably actually a little bit less. So that's actually good. I'm glad I did pounce. KA, are you the guy with 18 rebounds the other day? Sending secret rare luck to everybody. Let's go. No, not 18. You got over 10 rebounds? Yeah, just 10. KA was the person who got like how many drops did you get that one day, KA? You got like 3 or 4 drops maybe on the day. And that's when I was like, I don't know, man. I see it's kind of sketchy. I'm glad you got them, but if you got 4 at a time, are you a bot? And then KA brought up his VeVe username. And I said, well, that's pretty risky of you. If you were a bot and then you brought up your VeVe username, I would say you're either the worst botter of all time or you're actually legit. So shout out to KA. I don't know, man. I just have internet 12,000 MB PSP. That's insane. How do you have that? How do you have that fast of a speed, KA? That's incredible. Maverick, what's up, Johnny Dunn? How we doing today? Doing well, my man. Doing well. How you doing, brother? Shout out to Maverick joining the live stream today. It's an internet company, and I can connect to their Wi-Fi, so I just get the fastest internet anyone can get. What? KA, this is the craziest thing I've ever heard of before. What is the internet company that allows you to do that? Is Ghost Rider still goodbye at current prices? I'm gonna go over all the prices of these since it just dropped. Uncommon $29.50. Excuse me. The rare is $67. Ultra rare is $258. Secret rare is 1.1K. And the common is 33. I do think it's still a good opportunity. I mean, this is a top 10 comic book right now. Comics and Crypto thinks Ghost Rider can reach Daredevil #1 valuation. Yeah, I agree. I mean, definitely shout out to Comics and Crypto. I mean, great comic knowledge right there. And Sleeping Comics, I love to try to pick their minds with it. I think Ghost Rider is definitely a top 10 comic book. I mean, I think it's very valuable. Yeah, dudes, I saw some cheap 3 digits, man. They were going for like floor price, maybe even less than floor price. So I was trying to cop them, but I couldn't snipe them. I sniped Uncommon Ghost Rider yesterday, back to back, 330 and 379 within 130 seconds. Both $20. Wow, those are snipes right there, Maverick. Great job. Yeah, anytime you can get 3 digits for $20, especially uncommon, that's solid right there. I do think the secret rare is undervalued still. Top 8 comic. Yep. Oops, I have no gems left. I listed my Deadpool uncommon for 66 gems. 3 gems under the floor. I agree, Kryptoni. I definitely think it should be at least a couple $1,000 for the secret rare. Uh-oh. First sign of sniffles. It's only 27 minutes into the drop now, so maybe it's getting worse. But I don't feel too congested just yet. I can start to feel it come on a little bit. Maybe I should back away from the computer screen. Yeah, I mean, Ghost Rider, that's a top 10 comic book, top 8 comic book. And I do think we'll see more top comic books on the VeVe app in the future. But, I mean, for right now, it's definitely a top comic book. And that's still going to maintain its value when more comics drop on VeVe. Not every comic book is going to be a top 10 comic. Like today's not a very, very extremely valuable comic. That's why for me, if I get an ultra rare, if I get a secret rare on the drop, I don't mind flipping this one at all. But again, if I get a common, a 3-digit common, I don't think they're going to be extremely valuable right away. So I'll probably just end up keeping that. Like I said, it'll probably just be in the JD collection of originally owned comics and collectibles. Trying to get up there. I unfortunately sold a few of mine that I got on the drop before. And if I knew I was going to get this many drops, I would just right out the gate just keep every single drop I ever got. Because it even started with Nightwing. The more I thought about it last couple of days, I was like, wow, this actually started since the very first drop ever on VeVe for me. I got the Nightwing drop. Most people would just think oh, Nightwing first drop was probably easy to get. No, Nightwing was probably to this day one of the hardest drops in the world. Just because Sniffle Gang, we got Punch in the building. If anyone was here back in March when Nightwing dropped, let me know in the comments, because the Nightwing drop was impossible. It crashed the app. They had to reschedule the drop. They had to delay the drop an hour. And just to talk about the story, how I got the Nightwings, I didn't sleep the night before. This was my first drop ever on VeVe, so I was so excited. Didn't even go to sleep the night before. So I'm up all night, ready for the drop at 11 a.m. I think it was 11 a.m., the same drop time. It gets like 10:30. I'm dead tired right now. And it comes to drop. We try to get it. It's not working. We're like, what's going on? So we go to Twitter. They're like, oh, there's too many people on the account. The systems are overloaded. We're going to delay the drop an hour. So I was like, no way, an hour? Like, I'm going to pass out. I'm tired right now. So I set alarms, I think from like 11, probably like 11:45, 11:50, 11:55, 12, 12:05, just every 5 minutes. So I didn't miss that drop. VeVe just tweeted out, Come on, retweet. Let's go. So every 5 minutes, I would just have my alarm set and make sure I did not pass out and fall asleep and miss the drop. So it gets to like 11:50. I wake up to my alarm, go back to I didn't mean to go back to bed. I just knew it was gonna happen. I doze back off, 11:55, wake up, try the app, doesn't work. Same thing at 12. It didn't work. And it was a little bit past 12, I think. So like I only had maybe one more alarm set. I woke up a minute before that alarm, like 12:04 or 12:03. I checked the app. It's working. Boom, I got one. Boom, I got a second one. I tried to get in a third one and it said you can only have 2 per account. I was like, oh my gosh. But then I texted my boy who I just got into VeVe, who actually believed me. Shout out to Joe Kelly. He was my second friend from my hometown who actually believed me. And so I was like, yo, it's working. You can get the drop. So he's like, what? So he tried. He got a Nightwing, and then it was sold out. So I literally set alarm after alarm after alarm to wake up for this Nightwing drop. And I still woke up a minute before my alarm. The VeVe gods just woke me up. And then I got the drop. And I got 2 Nightwing. So I'm the original owner of 2 Nightwings, which is literally like almost unheard of. Let's go. Don Hine scored a Nightwing. This Nightwing store is legendary, 100% in the books. Yeah. Absolutely. Good morning, C. Rios. So like the fact that I stayed up from, the night before, just because I was excited for the drop, they delayed the drop an hour. I was like, you got to be kidding me, because I knew I was going to pass out. I was already like running on no sleep. So the fact that I woke up before my alarms and then I got the Nightwing, just woke up right away. Like no one's doing that. Who else has 20 alarms? And then who wakes up before the alarm goes off? It was just another conspiracy. So that's what I mean. Like I've been getting lucky on these drops since day one. So, and that was before they changed the system. I think whatever they did, Comic-Con weekend season 2, to change the drops to how it is right now, that's what really saved me. Because after that Nightwing drop, horrible all season 1. I think I got the Dragon Girl, the last drop of season 1. And those literally might have been my only 2 drops I got the entire season 1. That's why I had to spend so much money buying all these I didn't have to, but I was buying all these collectibles in the market. No one forced me to buy the collectibles, but I wanted them. So I was spending so much money. And that's what people don't see. They only see me getting the drops now. They don't see when I was buying everything on the market. That's why I did invest so much money, because I wasn't getting the drops. And then it was funny because everybody was asking me, what is your drop secret? Like, how do you get all these collectibles? And I'm like, I'm looking for drop help right now. Like I'm trying to get these drops. Don't ask me for tips. Like I'm not doing good on drops right now. So ever since that Comic-Con season 2, they changed the drop system too. I think that's when they went to a 1 second after zero. And I swore for the few weeks, I wasn't even live streaming my drops. And I was seeing everybody else, go for the drops. And I'm like, I don't do the drops at all like that. And I felt like I was getting the drops and no one else wasn't, because everyone's clicking as soon as zero happened. And I'm sitting there waiting a second after zero. So I felt like that was a huge, huge part in why I was getting the drops in the very beginning and most people weren't. Someone just left a comment on my VeVe feed. It's not loading. Yeah, people won't know how hard it was to get a drop back then. It was a crazy time, Punch. But then after that, that was the opportunity to get the drops, because most of those drops after the Nightwing, they didn't sell out. Like I think it was the DeLorean drop. There's a lot of drops to where they didn't sell out right away. You could get, I think it was the Kripkins. You could probably get every single rarity of the Kripkins on the drop in the store. Not on the drop, but like in the store before they actually sold out. Let's go, Johnny Boy. Coffee is the drop secret. I'm trying cold brew this time. Let's go. Cold or hot. Coffee Gators. Let's go. Just put you in the right mood, too. Morning, Johnny. Here's Johnny. Got to get the coffee ready, my man. Johnny Boy, he hit the secret rare. Think of what number was it again? I always forget the number. 65 mint. 65 mint secret rare. That's insane, bro. That's good. That's big time right there. Or an Ashton Martin too. Woo! AKA Bash. How we doing, brother? Yo, JD, do you have any Omi? What's Omi? I'm just kidding. Of course, man. Of course, you got to have the Omi bag packed. I am a big fan of Omi. I think Omi is going to do great. I wish I had more Omi, of course, but I got it milled, packed up, locked up. I'm looking at as too is like my collectibles are also Omi. I do have some duplicates that I do plan on, listing for Omi eventually. That's kind of my way in the future of stacking my Omi bag. I definitely think Omi is going to be crucial long term. I think the way I've been looking at it is the NFTs on VeVe, the collectibles, those are almost like the fleet of cars. Which fleet, which foreign car do you want, luxury car? These are all like the fleets of cars that you can invest in or collect, I should say. And then the Omi is like the fuel, the gasoline that fuels it all the cars. And not only just on the VeVe app, I think in the future it could be on other platforms too. So I do see Omi being king long term. Now I do see a couple of these VeVe NFTs being kings as well. I just think if you were someone trying to pick like which one do you target more, I think it's all going to depend on your situation. Not financial advice, my opinions only, especially about this topic, but I think it's all going to depend on the situation. I think if you were someone who just wanted to almost sit back, relax long term, not have to worry about the market prices, which collectible do you want, go for Omi, because that way it kind of covers everything long term. But a lot of these VeVe NFTs, collectibles in the short term, and I believe a lot of these, or at least some of these, long term will be huge as well too. So it all depends. I think safe plays to have both. My collection, I'm more heavily invested in the VeVe NFTs than Omi. That wasn't by design either. I just kind of way things unfolded because I went all in the very beginning. I like maxed this all out basically on the VeVe NFTs, and some people would and have called me absolutely crazy for doing so. Back in the day when we only had 8,000 users and there were 7,500 editions of Todd, that's the psychology part. Like, it's easy to look back and say, like, how could those people call you idiot, like call you an idiot, call you stupid? But you got to think, when there's only 7,500 editions of something and there's maybe more editions than people on the app, people are looking at me like, you are out of your mind, dude. What are you doing going all in on this, like, collectible, or even all these collectibles? And I just stuck with my conviction. I didn't know, because I could have been wrong for sure. And it could have been a big mess up. I could have had a big L, but I was willing to take that risk because I believed in this so much. I believed in the team so much. I went all in, and it was probably the best decision of my entire life, to be honest. One of the top decisions of my entire life. Yeah, sniffles are definitely in full effect right now. I'm feeling pretty congested. 38-minute mark. 38 minutes, I would say, today. Oh my gosh. I don't know what it is. My coffee got cold, so now I guess it's a cold brew now. Yeah, mine too. Mine's still kind of warm. It's like a warm brew. It's definitely not hot anymore, but it's definitely not cold either. Johnny Boy is the one who landed 65 mint on the Aston Martin the other day. I think a lot of people got confused and they saw Johnny Boy landed a secret rare, and they just assumed it was me. So I think a lot of people thought I hit the secret rare the other day, but car's still broken though. Only the guns work. Interesting. So it doesn't drive at all? Johnny Boy, let me know today. Are you sure it doesn't drive? Did you try like exiting your app and going back in? And try also deleting your files by going to the profile tab at the bottom, go to settings, go to my files, and remove all downloaded files. And then try opening it up in AR and driving it again. It should work. And if not, then I think the VeVe team will fix it. I'll let them know that it's still down for some people. Yeah, see that, Maverick? And I mean, that's on him. I mean, I think everybody's entitled to their own decision, their own opinion. And if that's what he wants to do, that's what he wants to do. I'm not here to judge other people and what their decisions are. I mean, that's up to him. I know for me personally, I'm definitely not doing that. But again, that's to each his own, right? I mean, everybody's got their opinion. Got to find a mechanic for it. What's crazy about this, Johnny Boy? There's been teasers back in the day when we first had that DeLorean drop. You know, maybe one day in the VeVe-verse to where a mechanic's like a position to where when you're driving, if you drive your DeLorean, you know, in the VeVe-verse and you crash it, if you're driving around augmented reality, you're crashing it, you may have to get it fixed. That's something that they just teased about. I'm not sure if it's something that's actually come to fruition, but just because I think people would get pissed off. Like, what do you mean? I paid for this NFT. Now you're telling me I have to pay to fix it? Like, I don't know if it would actually work like that. I think it was one of those things that they've been kind of just putting the idea out there, kind of like the deteriorating comics, which I like that idea personally. But again, I'm not reading my comics, so it kind of benefits me the most. So maybe I'm biased towards it because all my comics would be in mint condition. But man, Eric 505, if you could have got that comic, I think anything 777 is going to be extremely valuable. 77 people on the live stream as well. Wow, let's go sevens. Let's go. But for example, I mean, like me, I'm a big fan of that number. So a 777 mint anything would be something that I would be into. I did get the Coca-Cola 777 mint, and that was just an uncommon Coca-Cola. Do you have an Omi coin video? See Rios, how to purchase. Looks so difficult to purchase. All right, so I've had a couple questions now. So my next video, I definitely will make an Omi video because it is kind of tedious how to buy it. It's confusing how to buy it. It took me a long time how to learn how to buy it, but now I would say it's really easy how to buy it once you kind of get familiar with it. And there's definitely different people in the VeVe community, influencers, you know, just content creators out there have made Omi videos. So I would just type in how to buy Omi VeVe, something like that, keywords in the search YouTube, and definitely you'll find a VeVe content creator who's made a video on the Omi token. But it's something that I'm definitely going to put out soon just because I think a lot of people have been asking me for it. I'll kind of run through it in a quick way. Now, things have changed a little bit just because we are on a layer 2 now. We are on Ethereum right now. So it's no longer GoChain. But I think it's pretty much the same thing if you're using Bit4x. I haven't bought any Omi recently after the switch. Do you think today's drop is going to pop off in the resale market? I don't think so, UB Reddington. Shout out to you for joining the live stream today. I do think that this one's just going to kind of, depending on how it comes out, how the market opens up, if it's like usual, and there's only a few people that are able to get in the market right away, it'll probably start out. I bet a couple listings will start out near 1,000, and then hopefully there's some quick sales out there. I would suggest. Well, I'm not even going to suggest because it's going to be financial advice if I do that. But me personally, I'm not going to be buying anything up that high. I think this is a comic to where if I get that secret or ultra rare, I'm going to be trying to get a quick sale out of it. I'm going to put it in the marketplace for kind of a high amount. Hopefully it sells. Because if it doesn't, I do expect it to dip down in the future, in the near future. These cards are going to be dope. I hate to see them go as low as they're going, though. Buy the dips. Yeah, I mean, this is an Aston Martin. I mean, ultra rare. I think just because it's static hurts it a little bit right now. But again, if it dips extremely low around retail again, I'm going to be buying a couple of these retail. Especially just because I have a good mint number. And eventually, if I do sell that, which I don't think I will, I always try to have these iconic pieces for my digital virtual museum one day. That way I can charge a fee to enter it, and then that way I can make a passive income stream as opposed to kind of being forced into sell my big collectibles. I'd rather charge a gem fee entrance to enter my virtual museum with all these crazy collectibles and comics. What would your collection value? What do you mean by this, Crypto Boy? Is your question, what is my collection value at? I feel like anytime I talk about my collection value, people think of it as like a bragging thing. So I never like to say the exact number. Plus it fluctuates, you know, it goes up and down. I haven't looked at it recently after all the dips. So it's definitely gone down a little bit. But it's up there, man. It's up there. Feel blessed. Definitely feel blessed. JD, we are so fortunate and lucky today. Super blessed. Punch, absolutely, my man. I mean, we're all blessed. We're able to get these limited edition comics and collectibles from the luxury of our houses. I mean, think about that. Most of the time in the physical world, if if you want this comic book that's dropping, that's limited, if you want the limited collectible that's dropping, a lot of times you have to go out to the physical store. One, you have to wait there overnight. Two, in the weather. Three, snow, sleet, rain. I mean, think of Jordan, right? When the new Jordan shoe drops, people are out there waiting nights in tents. We get to sit here on VeVe, kick our feet up, and press a button. You know what I mean? Like that's a huge difference in the digital collecting world. How many of your friends and family did you get into VeVe, or is there any question mark? You know what's crazy about this, Billy Bob Bitcoin? You know, I told my whole entire family. You know, I told everybody that was close to me about VeVe in the very beginning. And unfortunately, most didn't listen. And I think it's because, you know, trying to explain to people, you know, to collect these digital Batman, these digital figurines, these digital collectibles kind of seem crazy to most people, right? And back in the day, you know, I was just trying to get people to say, I was actually surprised. I was like, just trust me. Just trust me. Like, just trust me. And a lot of them didn't. And it's unfortunate, but you know, not everybody sees what you see all the time. So that's something that I definitely understand. I think what's crazy to me is that most strangers trusted me more so, which is crazy to think about, which kind of let me down, to be honest. I was like, wow, like just think about it. You know, I could have had my whole entire family generational wealth, right? But shout out to my mom, shout out to my dad, my grandma. You know, if it wasn't for them, I'd be looking at probably a handful of collectibles right now. Every time I think about that, I probably have literally a handful of collectibles right now. And it took a combination because I had to do the research. I had to do all of that to understand, to get the confidence to be able to convince my mom, my dad, who are older, my grandma. So, yeah, I think about that all the time, you know, because even to this day, it's not like most of my family and the close friends, they still think it's kind of like a joke. Like they still don't understand because of the whole gem thing. It's very few people that understand that these gems can be converted into dollars. I think because it's not here yet for most people, people just see, oh yeah, but it's just gems. It's like, well, what are you gonna say when the gems are dollars? You know, it's like I just realized in life too, I've realized it's about myself. So it's not like I'm hard on anyone because I understand. Like I've always had futuristic thoughts, visions. Like I've talked about AR being a reality to replace cell phones back in 2011 and 12 when augmented reality really wasn't even a thing yet. People literally thought I was like, you're right, you're crazy. I'm always going to have a cell phone in my hand because I've always had one. I was telling people, no, you didn't. Like you didn't always have one. You've had one since probably 2009. And so people just didn't understand that. Like they just got so used to living that way. They didn't understand that there could be a new technology shift. And so I've always felt like I've always been a kind of a little bit ahead of the curve of what most people think. So when it came to Batman buying them digitally, these unicorns buying digital unicorns, like I'm sitting here buying these in my house, just cracking up laughing because I'm visioning what the outside world and what my family and friends, close family and friends are thinking, are gonna think when I tell them to buy these digital unicorns, digital Batman. Because I knew most of them wouldn't believe me, especially after just coming off like a year or two of making music out of nowhere. People thought I legit lost my mind. Like, and so it took strangers who never even knew me. Like shout out to Cavell, man, Cavell Anderson, because it took people like that just to be open-minded enough. So many people in this world are just closed-minded. And because if they don't understand something, if they can't learn it, if they're not educated on it, they think it's not real. They think it's not possible. But people like Cavell Anderson, man, open-minded person. I was on Gary Vee's Instagram since March 1st, which blows my mind in the beginning because I wasn't even able to get enough money to buy these collectibles since March 3rd. So for 2 whole days, I'm telling the world, buy VeVe, get VeVe NFTs, look into VeVe. I was leaving comments on Gary Vee's Instagram, YouTubers who were into NBA Top Shot, Earth 2.0 even. Shout out to Randy. I know he was big into Earth 2.0. And so I think in the beginning, that could have been why a lot of Top Shotters got into VeVe because every YouTuber that was an NBA Top Shot, check out the new NFT at VeVe Collectibles. Like I was going on a campaign spree. And so Cavell Anderson found my comments to Gary Vee on Gary Vee's Instagram. Never knew Cavell. He never knew me. It was just one of those top comments on the post. Because sometimes, you know, you go to a post and you see like whatever the top comment is right away. Well, it was Johnny Dunn, check out VeVe NFTs, or check out the VeVe app. NFTs licensed by, you know, the biggest brands in the world. So he's like, what is that? So he Googles it. He saw Batman. He said he went down the rabbit hole ever since. So it was like, that was the same thing that hooked me, seeing Batman on the website. But just goes to show you that all these strangers, you know, just were open-minded enough to say, what is this? I don't know it. Let me find out. Let me learn. It's those people who are too hard-headed in life that think they know everything, that think that they're better than everyone else, to where if someone has an idea, if someone sees an opportunity, they immediately shut it down because they know better. And I feel like I'm always a student. I'm a student of life. I try to surround myself with people who know way more than me. I'm always asking questions, so I'm always trying to learn new stuff. I feel like the worst thing you can do in life is sit there and act like you know everything. I feel like I know nothing. I'm always trying to learn stuff. So I don't know. It's just a different mindset. To answer that question in a long format, Billy Bob Bitcoin, not as many as I wanted, you know, not as many as I wish they get in. That's for sure. I'm getting this on a 240-second rebound. Shout out to everybody joining today. Hopefully everybody's able to get on the drop or the rebound. Should we click buy now when it shows, or wait 1 second and click? I want to go over my strategy. All right, so we got 8 minutes. There we go. Perfect. All right. I'm going to act like there's 0 minutes here and just 55 seconds. I'm going to walk you through the countdown. So my technique is like a countdown timing technique. You could sit there and spam the button, and if that works for you, great. But I try to time it. And so I've noticed that the buy now button either pops up or it becomes clickable 1 second after 0. So we have no buy now button today. It's going to flash up 1 second after 0. So I try, you know, focusing on the countdown timer about like 10 seconds. That way I stay in rhythm. As soon as it hits 0 seconds, I'm waiting 1 full second, and then I'm going to click buy now slightly before I see it. If you click too early, you basically have no chance. So it's definitely crucial to have good time here. I'm going to give a practice run. 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0. Buy now. Might have been a little late on that one, but it felt pretty solid right there. I felt like a pretty good attempt. Again, for these, I feel like it's always safer to be a tad bit late than too early, because if you're too early, you're going to have like no luck. If you're too late, at least you have some sort of chance getting it. It's almost like, the way I think about it is, instead of seeing the buy now button pop up and then pressing it, that little window of like a wait right there is going to be too late. So I'm going 3, 2, 1, 0, buy now. And like that, by the time I start my click right before I see buy now pop up. I know it gets kind of crazy to think about in that little small window of time, but if you can think about when you're about to see the buy now button pop up, start your click a fraction of a millisecond right before you see buy now. And it is 1 full second after buy now. So you see 3, 2, 1, 0, buy now. And that's just the strategy that's helped me big time. Since you're an OG, what's the red circle for the O on name? Certain meaning behind that? Yeah, shout out to Kyle Wilson. Kyle Wilson is one of the first people to kind of symbolize this. So the emoji, that little O-ring, he just thought it was a great idea to put that in the name to kind of signify like Omi. And I thought it was a great idea too. And so you see a lot of the Omi fam, the VeVe fam, put that red circle in their name just to kind of signify they're all about VeVe and Omi, since it's kind of like the O ring. Update the app, then you can drive. Yeah, Johnny boy, I would say try updating the app. Yeah, no, I hear you and agree with you. I'm here for good. You're not beating Disney elsewhere unless it's more Disney. Just think he might need a name change. For what? Oh, I see what you're saying. Yeah, I mean, that's on him. If he wants to keep the same or change it, I feel like I wouldn't let anyone who's like tuned in to his content or whatever, I wouldn't let, one decision impact you. I feel like everyone has the right to do whatever they want to do. So, if he's serious about that, then that's on him. What's good, MSC squad? How we doing, brother? Good luck today, my man. How we doing, brother? We got Palace Jerry in the building. We got 4 minutes and 15 seconds to the drop. What is your favorite food? All right, my favorite food, it's probably a generic one. It's definitely a generic one. So I'll spice it up a little bit. I would say pizza is probably my favorite food. It's got to be like good pizza though. I'm a big fan of like real crispy crust. And I would spice it up by saying buffalo chicken pizza. That's probably my favorite kind of food right there. I know it's kind of like a generic answer, but Jerry's asking about my Captain Carter. Got the Gale in the building, my man. How we doing, brother? 3 minutes and 38 seconds to the drop. Hey, appreciate that big time, man. 3.5K subs. Let's go. Shout out to you guys making that happen. Shout out to the Gale. Gale joining in. Yo, good luck today, my man. Hopefully you crush it today. Yeah, that's the thing. Went down a lot, but still way over my initial investment. Definitely. And if you guys are down on your investment, I feel like it's never the time to freak out. Not financial advice, not a financial advisor. My opinions only. But what I've noticed in all kinds of markets is there's always going to be an ebb and flow. If you guys are invested in Bitcoin and you guys love Bitcoin and you see the future in Bitcoin, you're a believer in that. When it goes down a lot, say it goes in half. Usually that's not the time to panic sell. A lot of times that's if you believe in Bitcoin as the future still, that's usually the time to do what? A lot of people think that's the time to accumulate more. Just a little comparison. Obviously, it's not the same exact thing, but I feel like it could be a similarity there. Good morning, Green Goblin. 2 minutes and 33 seconds to the drop. Keep looking at that. I feel like I'm going to miss the drop this time. Pop Geezer Breezer. Yo, good luck on the secret rare today. Hopefully you're able to get it. See Spill, Z Brito, Light Gate. Yeah, it's always better to be a little bit late just because if you're early, chalk up an L basically. It's when you release your thumb. This could be a huge thing too. I feel like because you guys have seen some of my clicks that look late, but if you watch them live, I've even said a lot of times I feel like it's early or it's perfect. And I think that has to do with how you release your thumb. That's why I think it was on the YouTube video that I posted. It was either a stamp drop or the Black Panther secret rare drop. One of those drops recently, you could see how quick I was, like in and out. And it looks like I was quick. When I'm like kind of a hard press and kind of late to release, that's when I feel like it looks like I'm really, really late. So I feel like releasing your thumb definitely has a big factor. Also, if you guys are on this screen for a while, I'm gonna back out again. So we got a minute 23 seconds. I'll back out and I'll back in until I feel like the countdown's going down in order. I'll probably do that again with like 30 seconds left to go. That's something I feel like just definitely been helping out big time. Rexy 19, let's go, fam. Almost game time. Let's go. Let's go. Shout out to my coffee gators. How much time we got? 55 seconds. Let's go. All right. I'm going to record this drop. Snifflegate, Coffee Gate, Johnny Gate. Let's go. All right. 38 seconds. I'm going to back out again. Didn't like that one. This one feels good. 32 seconds. Now, I don't know if that really does anything, but I feel like it does. I feel like that kind of helps sync the timer to make sure it's not early and not late. I could be completely wrong and it's just a placebo effect. But if it helps your mind get right, I say go for it. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0. Bye now. I think I got it. No! Man, that was a long pause right there. Oh my gosh. Man. Oh, I hate losing so much. All right. If you didn't get it, stay on that screen for the rebounds. Wow. I was holding my breath. I was nervous for that one for some reason. I feel like it's gonna look like I was late. I feel like I had a hard press on that one, like a real late press. We'll see what happens. Hooks up. It's not focusing. All right, 10 seconds. 5. There we go. I felt pretty good on that one. Look how long this stayed. Oh my gosh. Is that longer than usual or what? I feel like I got it, and they saw that I got it, and they're like, all right, we can't let Johnny get it again. I don't know. I felt like I was pretty solid again on that one. I don't think I could have been much better, to be honest. And I feel pretty happy with that just because, like I said, you can only control so much, right? The only thing that you can control is your timing speed. So even if you time it perfect, it's not a guarantee. It's going to increase your chances if you can do that multiple times. Doctor Strange, same here. I guess that means that you had good timing but took an L today. The load, I guess it was long for everyone today. Oh, okay. You saw the buy now button on that one. Might have been late. But like I said, Johnny boy, I've gotten it before when I was a little bit late. I feel like it's way better to be a tad late as opposed to if you're early. I mean, you have no chance really. I've only gotten it once, I think, where I pressed it too early and then I was like, oh wow. And then I just tried it again and it got through. So I don't know how that happened that time, but I think maybe my timer is slightly early that time. Who knows? But I never been so much on time as today, but I missed. Maybe everybody timed it perfect. So there's just an extreme load, more so than usual. L perfect timing. This is so true. This is literally how it's been for me, aka Bash. That's why I try to calm myself down. I can usually do a pretty good job at like relaxing my body and like breathing. Today I think I just held my breath. Like I don't think I was breathing at all. I was pretty nervous, like for some reason. And that's the weird thing because this comic isn't even that important. But sometimes I think all drops I get nervous. It's just I do better at calming myself down more so than others. Like I'll never forget the secret rare all gold Dragon Girl. I was so nervous on that drop. I pressed it probably with like 1 second left. I was so early on that one. No, I thought you were gonna say you hit. Wow. Can't be messing with me like that, December. I hope it's not another 44-minute rebound situation. Oh, Marvel Comics #1 secret rare or the Walt statue. I think the secret rare comic will have a higher floor first, but I think long term it's that Walt Disney statue for sure. I feel pretty confident about that. But again, short term, something that has 600 editions, the first ever comic book, that's going to do amazing. I think because of the edition count, that could get a higher floor. I think it already does have a higher floor, to be honest. But I mean, like even a higher floor faster. But I think long term, when you're talking a couple years out, the Walt Disney statue is going to be insane. I think it was long for. All right, it sounds like it was long for everybody. I don't understand why comics are the hardest to get. I don't understand that either. Perfect timing, big L. I'm getting one on the rebound. Mark my words. I bet Simone gets it. You're going to will your way into getting it. Wow, I just almost timed that rebound perfect. I literally pressed it as my phone turned 11:05. But that's a minute late, so I wouldn't have gotten it. Never mind. my computer clock says 11:04, so it kind of threw me off right there. No more cold brew on drop day. Hot coffee. The hot coffee gators. Let's go. Everybody struck out on the 4. Oh, wow. Okay, a lot of W4s in the VeVe Vaults live stream. I think it has to do with your timing. I think everybody's timing is slightly different on their phone. Yeah, perfect timing 1 minute later. My computer clock's 1 minute off, so it keeps throwing me off. Voltron set. I just got rid of my Voltron set a while ago. I do like it, though. I think it's going to be a big one. I don't know how big, but I mean, the first DreamWorks NFT, I think that'll be a big deal. As they release more and more DreamWorks collectibles, I think that'll put an emphasis on the first one. But for me, Voltron, like I never knew Voltron. I wasn't the biggest fan of it. So again, it was a tough decision. I hate getting rid of anything, but I'm tailoring my collection to the things that I love. And Voltron is just one of those things I never even knew about. And that doesn't mean I can't grow into loving it, but for me, I didn't absolutely love it. Yeah, Simone, I think probably is the timing. I think a lot of people have an understanding of when their phone, like when they should go for the rebound. And I think it's slightly before that 4-minute mark. Hey JD, what do you think the significant mints should be worth compared to the floor year of first appearance? JJ, great question. I think all depends because some collections you're gonna find some collectibles where there's more hardcore fans than others. Meaning, if you had a first appearance of a Star Wars, R2D2 or something like that, I think that could demand a lot of money and probably be liquidable just because of Star Wars fans. There's a lot of them and they're hardcore. Now, if you had a first appearance, say, of I don't even want to give an example just because I may give an example and someone's a fan. Excuse me, someone's a fan of it, but just a smaller IP, a smaller brand that isn't well known, doesn't have a hardcore fan base. If you have a first appearance of that one, it could still be a big deal, but it may not be as valuable just because you don't have as many fans. You don't have a hardcore fan base going for it. Win on the 4-minute. Ronnie Lido, let's go. Check your Twitter. VeVe special drop. Exclusive for JD fam. What? You are hilarious. Shout out to Kelvin, my man. This is pretty funny. He's got me a mask. He's got me some nasal spray, some conditioner filter, air conditioner filter. Thanks, Kelvin. I appreciate it, man. Montage is still hitting the rebounds, you beast, you monster. I don't know how Montage is doing it. Montage might lead the league in rebounds, to be honest. I appreciate you, Kelvin. That's hilarious. Got some dubs. I'm just saying, took a W. Punch, let's go. Yeah, the slow pause was crazy today. I really thought I was gonna get one. Wow. 427 mint on a 4-minute rebound. My man Ronnie. I mean, even a common, that's gonna be pretty solid. You got a secret rare with that mint though. That might be the most valuable one. Shout out to my guy right there. I don't know how to say your name, so I'm just gonna say shout out to my guy K. He says I have an MC1 secret rare listed on auction. Solid price tag right there. Yeah, Montage is a savage. He's a rebound king for sure. Montage might have a Montage is gonna have a business doing rebounds for people. Gabe Vincent with an 8-minute rebound. I never go for the rebounds. I should probably start. Click buy about 0.5 seconds before 8-minute mark. You got a dub on rebound. Yeah, Papa Giza Breezer. We took big L's today, my man. We were winning big in March. I think so too, Punch. I definitely see the market recovering. People want to keep asking if it's March, April. I don't know when it's going to happen. You know, it may not just be one boom. It's going to be like a slow, steady rise, maybe. Snifflegate. Snifflegate was not in effect today because I didn't hit the drop. But I think tomorrow I'm going to turn the light back off. And the light off is the trick. I've been doing pretty well with the light off recently. So, yeah, Melissa, I definitely should be going for the rebounds. Like, I'll go for this one 11-11, 11-12. But usually I just get caught up talking to people in the live stream, the chat. And most of the time, to be honest, I usually get the drop. It's about, I wonder what my drop percentage is overall, long term. Since, if you include season 1, it's going to be a different percentage. But if you go from season 2, the Comic-Con weekend to right now, my drop percentage, I would have to say it's close to 50%. It's got to be. Nope, didn't get it. I'm up for this rebound though. Ooh, Poison Ivy, FA. I could see it. I mean, I do think the cover girls will drop that. I think it'll be in that category, and I think we will see it eventually. I think it's going to be an awesome looking collectible too. But I don't know if it's going to happen this month. I have a feeling it's going to be more like rewind drops, but maybe it's just a one rebound drop. I haven't hit a rebound in a while either. Montage hits the rebounds. I'm just saying hit a rebound by clicking 0.5 seconds before the 8-minute mark. And got a dub. Who's going to be the one to try a 44-minute rebound? I mean, it depends if they keep the market closed, unless they bring it open. If they bring the market open, then I would say there's no point to go for those rebounds afterwards. But you never know. You never know. I didn't get a chance to go over the marketplace today, so maybe I'll do that as soon as the market opens. I was too busy rambling away talking. Either go over that Voltron set. I don't have them anymore. I got rid of mine. But again, I think they'll start to move up once they start releasing more DreamWorks NFTs, more collectibles from DreamWorks. That'll always be the very first one. But again, I can't keep everything I have, you know? I got to be able to. It's hard, too, because I absolutely love everything I get. My biggest problem is holding on to things too long. Like, I get emotionally attached to a lot of these, especially because I'm trying to keep a lot of these collectibles I originally get on the drop. So that's definitely, and like I'm trying to hold out until we do have another pump to let go of some of these duplicates. I don't want to let go too much right now, just because. I mean, I do think there will be another rally. I always think there's going to be another rally. I think there'll be another dip, another low. There's always going to be ups and downs, you know? It's just the macro trend is up. So for me right now, it's just kind of tailoring my collection, working on things. I don't want to get rid of everything I don't like right away and drop all my sets down, but slowly kind of swap in the sets that I don't absolutely love for the sets that I do love type thing. Picked up a couple low mints recently as well that I did relist in case someone wants to pick them up. And if they don't, then I don't mind at all holding on to them. So I feel like low mints, they're not as liquidable right away, but there's a huge market for it. So they just take some time. Yeah, just bring up a clock, like a world clock or something like that. Make sure on your actual time zone and click halfway to 3/4 between 59 and that minute mark on every 4 minutes. Don't have the gems for the market. Yeah, I'm going to stay away from this comic book, to be honest. I'm not going to go after this one. Extra gems. What's your aftermarket strategy usually, Johnny? Do you use a Komi Wiki? Shout out to UK. I do like that website a lot, Komi Wiki. I think I don't pay for it anymore, but I think anyone who's looking for charts or anything like that, I think it's definitely a great opportunity because, I mean, his website is amazing. Shout out to Omi the Clown. Made an unbelievable website on a Komi Wiki. What goes up must come down. Absolutely. And what goes down must go back up. I see a lot of recovery happening. Exactly. Ian Devine. I buy extras to sell, and then I go to sell one and they can't do it. I mean, it's one of those things where people who only have one collectible, they always say, I wish I had duplicates. And duplicates is a great position to be in. I mean, I think it's key and crucial to have duplicates to increase your collection. But I'll tell you right now, just because you have duplicates does not make you any less attached to them. I'll be the first one to come out there and say, I had 7 FA Jokers and did not want to get rid of them at all. FA Harley Quinn, same thing. I mean, a lot of these duplicates, I feel like right now I have a lot of good duplicates too. So that could definitely be a reason. But even your duplicates, when you buy duplicates, you grow attached to those. Then you're like, oh, I only got 2 left, or I only got 3 left, or you start to think like that. But duplicates are clutch. Wow, Jerry, if they do that, maybe a gem squeeze. Just because anything Disney related, I think will be big. Hey, good night, December. Appreciate you tuning in as always, stopping by for the live stream. And hopefully you went for the drop. You probably didn't hit because everything has not been going your way recently, but hopefully one day you will tell us that you hit big and we will all be so happy for you. Let's go. Shout out to you, December, big time. I'm going to stay on until the marketplace opens, though. Go over a recap of some of the things that just dropped. We have something special. I was lucky to stack the Ghost Rider for cheap, and I'm a happy fat cat. Let's go, Punch. And that's the thing with VeVe, right? There's always going to be opportunities. A lot of times people have said, like, you know, there's not going to be any more opportunities, but I kind of disagree with that. I do think that there's going to be plenty of opportunities in the future, like we saw with the Ghost Rider drop. VeVe has yet to release every top tier Holy Grail comic that's dropped or in the real world. So I do think that we're going to see more high-end comics in the future on VeVe. And who knows, maybe they come out cheap, kind of like the Ghost Rider did. Came out $10, $11, right? Then it didn't come out as $3 like the MC1 did, but I think $11, $12 coming out right out the gate for a top 10 comic book. That's another big opportunity right there for a lot of people. I mean, I think every stage of VeVe, it constantly adapts, constantly grows into something new, or adds another layer onto it that wasn't there before. For example, before we even had comics on VeVe, VeVe was an app that just had collectibles at one point to where people laughed at the day when we said we would have comics on the app. People really didn't believe that would ever get here. And the fact that we did have that day, now comics have become like a natural thing. People, I think, just forget about the stages. Before we had MC1, people said there's never going to be another opportunity on VeVe because everything is sold out. There's no more opportunities like the Todd or these collectibles. And then they released comic books. And then the Marvel Comics #1 happened, and it got resold for $2 when the retail was $7. And now the price of that common is like over $300, $400. So, I mean, that was another opportunity right there. Then we saw the Lenticular Cards. That was just a new type of collectible that we haven't seen yet. Now, that hasn't risen up just yet. I think it will eventually. And then we see another top 10 comic book that just got dropped, got resold for $10, $11. You know, shout out to everyone who's able to stack them because I think that's another opportunity. I think there's always going to be new opportunities on VeVe. I mean, the Disney Golden Moments was another great example. A lot of people didn't think that VeVe would ever have Disney. Boom. They released Disney. A lot of these NFTs came out resold for $70, $80, right? There's too many editions again, people thought. $70 Homer Bart is now over $1,000. Shout out to the people who stacked those. I mean, the Delorean, back in the day, season 1 when the Delorean dropped. 50,000 editions, right? Everyone thought it was ruined. You know, people thought it ruined the VeVe app. There was all this FUD. Well, that same common DeLorean was now like 100. It got up to $160 last couple of days. So, I mean, obviously we know that was with the pump because it's going to be drivable. But that's the thing. There's always going to be new opportunities, I feel like. I think the people who just say there won't ever be another opportunity is probably the ones that miss some opportunities. And they may feel that low, like there's never going to be another one. But just remember, there's always going to be new opportunities. It's kind of like when the market's low, people think like, oh, it'll never recover. I'm sure it's always going to recover. And then when it's at an all-time high, people are going to think that it's never going to dip. Well, I'm sure it's going to dip again too. It's always going to be a moving beast. You know, it's always going to be moving up and down. It's not going to, when it is stagnant and it is low for a low period of time or a small period of time, that could be an accumulation period. Not financial advice. My opinions only. Yeah, great move. Great move right there. I'm not sure if you guys are spamming the rebounds or not. I just tried spamming the last one, but usually I just try clicking like right before it turns 4. Solid. I don't think there's anything wrong with investing in Grail comic books. Not a terrible idea, dudes. But I think it's first edition Disney will do big numbers. I don't have them all. I just have the Mickey Mouse and the Minnie. I wanted to get the Donald Duck one as well. And then if I just had the gems left over and the Goofy was cheap, I would get that one. But I'm more of a big fan of the Mickey and the Minnie and the Donald Ducks just because those are the biggest characters, I feel like, in Disney. In a first edition of those, I feel like they can't do bad long term. Let's check out Twitter. Let's get the Twitter vibe. Kelvin's already planned out the next drop for me. Let's go. Somebody hit a rebound. Oh, a lot of people are hitting the rebounds. Let's go. Oh man, Wendy struck out. Team all editions, blah blah blah. Everybody hit rebounds, looked like today. Shout out to everybody who hit. Yeah, I feel like I can't find anyone who just hit normal. Wild. No secret rares, it looks like. Wow, let's go, JT. 10,000 Omi winner. Let's go. Missed the drop. Got my first rebound ever. So you hit a rebound too. It seems like everybody hit rebound. I don't think we're going to have too big of drops either, fun under the sun. And that's kind of what makes me think the market will recover. But I think it's going to happen slowly. I don't think it's just going to be one day where it's like, boom, You know, we're at all-time highs again. I think it's going to slowly work its way up there. I could see that 10 million on the app soon, next few months. What are your thoughts on RC mode coming back to the common Delorean? I can't wait for it. I don't think it's there just yet, right? But I think that's what they announced is going to be happening, right? It could have already happened. I'm not too sure. I didn't see it personally just yet, but I think it's going to be there soon. And I mean, I'm happy for it. It's been a while since that's happened. Maybe they do it on the anniversary of the drop. I could see them doing that too. That way it rewards all the holders for a year. It's kind of been my thinking of a lot of these drops. Anything that's dropped in 2021, maybe they wait for a full year anniversary to add some kind of utility or surprise animation to it. That way it really rewards anyone's held it for a full year. I mean, you're a true collector then, I would say. Oh yeah, the Craven drop. You know what's weird about that is that's when I started hitting comics again. Before the Craven, the first ever comic book arc on VeVe, part 1. Before that, I was like 0 for 10, 0 for 11. I went to that drop having no confidence again. I was like, all right, I probably won't hit. Hit part 1. I think I hit part 2 or 3. I hit part 5 or 6. Like I went on a roll. I was like, what? I just went 50% in this week. And then it carried on. So I don't know what happened. But before that, I was the same way. I was not hitting the rebounds, was not hitting the comics. I think my last rebound might have been Disney Week, to be honest. That was a while ago. Also, shout out to Reslone1 because he was the one who told me, you know, the rebounds are still a thing during the Disney Week. He got a rebound on the Bart and the Homer drop. That's how I got my skateboard. So I was pretty happy about that. Saved myself a few $100 in the market. Let's see. Market's still closed, so I'm going to wait a little while to open up. Until it opens up. What makes you want to sell these lenticular cards, dubes? You just want to cash the gems for them, basically, to make some other moves, or any reason why it stood out to you that you want to get rid of them? Because I do think they're going to do well. But again, you know, it might take till Series 2 comes out, more Disney characters, Series 3. That's only Series 1 of those Disney lenticular cards. I think they're going to roll out a bunch of them. VeVe's blessing us with the opportunity to stack Series 1s right now. That's kind of how I see it. JT, I did not get one. I missed the drop today. I felt like I was going to be able to get it. I felt pretty early, not early, but pretty good timing on the drop. Maybe like a fraction of a millisecond later than usual. But it got to my loading screen and I felt like I was going to go through and I just did not get one today. So missed out on that, but no biggie, no biggie. I was probably just going to use it to flip anyway. Maybe Las Vegas forgot about the drop today. Definitely happens. You know, so many drops to the point where definitely gets hard to, you know, stay on top of it all. All these announcements. Congrats, you got one. Enjoy your day. Yeah, definitely a shout out to you, VeVe Las Vegas, tuning in, supporting the channel. Appreciate you big time. And no worries, JT. I always look at these drops as like a bonus for me. Most of the time, I look at these drops as a way to possibly increase my gem bag. But the problem is, I do get these drops, and then I get addicted to them. Or not addicted, but I would say emotionally attached to them. Like, I should have probably let go of that Secret Rare Black Panther right away in the market for 3.5, 3K. I don't think I would have got 3.5, but probably 3K I would have got for it. Bought it back half the price. I even said that was probably going to happen. I said, you know, if I really, really wanted to, probably should sell this for 3K, buy it back at 1.5. But I just held on to it. And I get emotionally attached to being the original owner. I do think that's going to be a big deal. And so I keep getting these drops. I got to keep keeping them. But also I got to make some moves too to increase my gem bag. So it's definitely a little balancing act. I always say I kind of look at this as like a fantasy collectibles, kind of like fantasy sports, but almost just in the collectible world. That's why I love fantasy football, fantasy basketball, fantasy baseball, fantasy sports in general, just because you're constantly making moves to make your team better. And because I don't have the kind of cash to just keep putting in every single day, I would love to. I don't want to sell anything, to be honest, but I don't have the cash to keep just putting in. So I'm constantly kind of playing fantasy collectibles. What can I get rid of right now? What do I not love right now? I have most of my collectibles, stashed for the long term. I have some collectibles that in my mind I'm thinking, okay, these are kind of like short-term, medium flips. But for the most part, I'm keeping most of my collectibles. Appreciate that, JT, and same to you. I think a lot of people got stuck at that loading screen today. No, I haven't really talked about these just yet, just because I know there's a lot of opinions floating both ways on it. So I kind of wanted to wait to save my remarks till the actual day of the drop. I don't really want to talk about it too much until it happens. VeVe Las Vegas, I picked up a secret rare, sub 2,000. Wow, yeah, that sounds like an absolute steal right there. For $220, the last X-Men one. Can't believe the secret rare's got that low, to be honest. That definitely sounds like an opportunity, if you ask me. I think all secret rares are going to be above 500 if they're not there yet, and probably closer towards the 1,000 range. Once we're able to put them in the showrooms, I think they haven't came out with an exact date just yet, but they're working on it. They're working to finalize it. I think they're testing it out right now. The comics are going to have like some kind of case that you can put in your showrooms to make it look like a graded slab case with the edition number on there. I think that's going to look amazing. Market's still closed. Sometimes that's how it goes, you have some gems and you see a great deal and you want to pounce on it. That's how it was with the Aston Martin drop, a 1953 mint number. It was the first year that the first ever James Bond book was published. I felt like that was a huge deal. It's like the book that started all the James Bond movies, And so I had 1,000 gems in my account gearing up for that Aston Martin drop. The second one, the secret rare with the 500 editions. But I was like, you know what? I was in the marketplace, saw this Aston Martin car for, I think it was $800. 1953. One, that's my dad's birth year, so I felt like that's a big meaning for me. But then also, that's the year that the first ever James Bond book was published. Felt like that was a big year, so copped that one, and I'm pretty happy with that purchase. I can't believe that I have that one. And that's how it goes. You don't really plan to buy something, but sometimes you see a deal and you pounce on it. And so I pounced on that one. You pounced on that one. I think that's a great move. Where's your VeVe moon landing in the back? Let's go. I love this one. This is a new one, actually. Where's it right here? It's an all gold one. I want to bring it down, but the last thing I want to do is break that one. So I do not want to bring that one down to show it closer, but I will give a huge shout out to the creator of this. Shout out to Drea. If you guys aren't familiar with Drea, just a big person in the community, been here for a while, big influence. She does amazing work with her 3D. I think she makes them with the 3D printer. So you can follow her, Drea, at Drea_Valeria. But also follow her business account, Drea's Paracosm Design Studio. Make sure you guys go follow her. And if you guys ever want any of these collectibles, you guys see the VeVe logos there. She also made a few other VeVe logos for me as well on the desk that you probably just can't see in the shelf back there. But definitely go show some love. If you ever want any of them, give her a follow, maybe DM her, see if she can create something for you guys, because I'm sure she's down to create anything VeVe related for anyone in the community. This is a picture of what someone else just posted. She reposted, I think it's the same colorway, the gold. Looks awesome. So happy about it. Official Moon Boy now. Let's go. Shout out to you, Dre. I appreciate that big time. Love it. Love the all gold. I love all the colorways too, but you guys know how I feel about gold. Even have the gold pop filter here. Let's go. Gotta have that in there. What up, Johnny Dunn? I'm not the biggest comic collector. I'm into the statues, but I got to grab this rare today too. Dope. Yeah, I think the rare cover looks amazing. It's one of the few rares that I think stand out big time for a few different reasons. I mean, the rare has the Iron Man and the Captain America logo, like that title in that black box. And I think that just stands out with that white background. And the Captain America himself in that blue suit That stands out. That pops with the white and black background. I think the rare looks good. And I wasn't even the biggest comic collector either, to be honest, brother. I started out just with the statues. I never collected comics in the real world either. So that's probably why I wasn't really into it that much. But as I started collecting the comics on VeVe, it really got me into collecting the physical versions. And as you guys can see here, I got my Todd McFarlane Batman. Let's go in that comic book. Get the Calls Moon Man. Yeah, I'll probably have to get the Calls one next. But the comics kind of on VeVe got me into the comics in real life. And that's one of the reasons why, I started to get a feeling that was going to happen. And I think what really got me into it was collecting the 3-digit commons on VeVe. Just because that's the commons for the most part are the ones with the physical counterpart. And so for me, like collecting the Fantastic Four #1, the Marvel Comics #1, the Journey into Mystery, these 3-digit common comics with that physical comic cover replica, for me, it's like my way of being able to collect these comics just digitally now. And for me, I look at the mint number as kind of like that grading system. Now, everyone's going to have a different opinion on this. Obviously, people say it's not equivalent because of the different rarities. And that's what I want to just cover too real quick, because I think the secret rares are going to do amazing. I think the ultra rares are going to do amazing. The uncommons, the rares, I think they're all going to do amazing, because as a collector, if you're into that comic, you're not just going to stop at the common, and you're not just going to stop at the secret rare. As a collector, you're going to collect every rarity. So that's why I think every rarity of those comics, the top ones, the Holy Grails, are going to do well. Specifically, the 3-digit commons, just because there's not many of them, and that's your way of kind of separating yourself between those 30,000, 50,000 editions. And so, like, once I got that Marvel Comics #1, the common, the 3-digit, I think it's like a 750 number. Woo! That felt so good. So that's also like I tap into my collecting bag. And as a collector, I know there's going to be other collectors out there that like the same thing. And that's kind of what we saw happen. I mean, I was doing this I think it was late November. And then early December, we saw a huge run up in all those common 3-digit low numbers. And there's no way I would have been able to get all those Holy Grail comics if I waited till now. So going on that point, anyone new tuning in right now, trust your gut, collect things that you love, because I always say you might be ahead of the wave. Instead of waiting for your favorite content creator to post something that they're into, if you start collecting the things that you love, like I did with the 3-digit commons, I love those. So I started collecting them before they became popular. I was before that wave, so I got in early. I was able to do that. So for you, it might be something else. Maybe you go after every VeVe exclusive comic cover. Right now, I don't think that's too big of a deal, but I think that will be a big deal in the future. I think people will try to go out of their way to try to get every single VeVe exclusive comic cover. So that could be an opportunity right now. But don't just go do that just because I said that, I'm just giving examples of different things that you could be into. Jay Dunn dropping gems all stream. Let's go. The Gale tuning in, loving it. Let's go, my brother. Appreciate you, bro. Gail's always on top of things as well. I mean, that's a big thing too. I mean, as you guys can see, Gail, experienced OG, just tuning in, supporting the channel, soaking in some gems. I think anytime you can just soak up gems from any content creator out there, maybe it's stuff that you've already heard, maybe Gail's listening saying he's talking about things that I've heard every single day, right? Probably is for OGs, but you never know. Maybe I tune into his live stream one day and he's dropping gems that maybe I haven't thought about yet. So I think it's good to always just tune into any kind of VeVe content if you're in love with the space, because you never know what could be dropped, Maybe it's something that you knew already, but maybe you just forgot about, and it just rings the bell. It's like, oh yeah, you know what? Maybe I'm going to go target this or look into that. Just always good just to soak up gems from everybody. Oh man, Zombie going hard. Zombie, that effort should be rewarded. At least I win an effort. And that's the thing. You can only control what you control, right? You can only control what you can control. And you can control your effort. And you put in a lot of effort. So a lot of times the luck tends to reward the people who put in a lot of effort. That's why sometimes people say you better be lucky and then be good. But I feel like the more effort you put into anything, the luckier you get for some reason. 3-digit common comics for sure. You were in on that early. You killed it, bro. People don't even know. Mark D, I appreciate that big time, man. And I kind of got lucky with that one. That was another one to where I wasn't doing it because like I just knew that these were going to be huge and valuable and I could sell them. I didn't think like that. And I probably should have had a little bit more of that mindset to where I should have got just multiples, but I didn't have enough money at the time to be able to get, a bunch of Fantastic Four #1 comics at that price. I had just enough to where I could get one of like pretty much each of the grails. And that was like kind of my challenge. That was like my hunt. The part where I screwed up is that I got every single one besides Marvel Comics #1 because I couldn't afford it just yet. I should have just stayed chilling, and stacked up money, which I was doing at the time too. But where I messed up was I created my collage and posted it and like showed off all my 3-digit commons I had except the Marvel Comics #1. Biggest mistake ever. Because I think people really saw that collage of all the comics together. And that's what hit them like, that looks awesome. That's what I want. And that's what I think, that's when that shift happened into those common low digits. And the Marvel Comics #1 price skyrocketed. I had to pay like $2,000 for it. And I was like, oh my gosh, like that was a big, not L, but like opportunity miss, I would say, because I could have got that one for a lot cheaper. Just went after every other one, which I should have went after that one first, hindsight. But it can't be perfect. Can't be perfect. But that was just me going after things that I absolutely loved. And I dug into my collecting bag. That was something I wanted, thinking if I like this, if this is what I want, I'm sure there's gonna be other collectors that feel the same way. And that's what we see right now. And I think also that ties into why people think I hate the secret rares, because I love those commons so much. But I always talk about this on the streams too, because I don't want to get that. I want to get that straightened out as well. I think people understand at this point. I love the secret rares too, the ultra rares, the rares, the uncommons. I say this all the time, but I'll say it again. I think they're all going to do well because as a comic collector, they're not just going to get one rarity. If you're a comic collector, you're most likely going to get all the rarities in that set. They don't count as a set, but in comic collectors' eyes, they kind of do. So that's how I think of it. There's so few secret rares, the floors are going to be set extremely high. But for me personally, I just wanted to be able to collect what was in the real world. Like I would love to have a physical Marvel Comics #1. Chances of me owning one of them in the real world, highly unlikely for now, yet knock on wood. But so that's my way of being able to collect and separate myself from the 30,000 different editions that are there in the commons to get that sub 1,000. So just my take on it. Triple OGs. Yesterday, I scored 2 Ghost Riders in the 400 mints. Wow, Zombie Freak. That's clutch right there. That is clutch. I mean, that's a low mint. Sub 500 is big time, I think. Johnny, how many comics do you have? Let's see. So, my collectibles, I have a total of 229 collectibles, and comics, I have 168. So, not quite even, but I'm getting there. I had almost like 400. I think I touched 500. I think I was over 500 collectibles at one point. But a lot of those got diminished or depleted, I should say. Once a couple other big drops happened, I had to let go. A lot of those collectibles, too, I kind of just padded for the stats. Like they weren't your most valuable collectibles. So it looked like I was this huge whale, 50 sets, 500 some collectibles. But a lot of those collectibles were like 40 FA Captain America Marvel Mighties, which I still think they're great. First edition of Captain America, Series 1 of the Marvel Mighties. But it's not like your high-end luxury type collectibles. So I did. A lot of my duplicates got depleted for Walt Disney. I'm happy with that decision. It just stinks because I felt like it doesn't sting. I will get a lot of those collectibles back. But from the optics, I like looking at my account when I had all those collectibles. But I feel blessed. So we'll see what happens on the edition count for the comics. I want to try to get back to even. Not back to even, but just get even. I don't think I was ever even on the comics and collectibles. 229 collectibles. I'd like to be about over 200 comics. I have 168 comics right now. I have 50 sets, and really what I'm proud about is the 3,755 followers, you guys. You guys really have blown up my profile on VeVe, the Twitter. Appreciate all of you guys so much. The support's been amazing. It's grinding for a while on these followers too on the VeVe app. It takes a while to grow a following. I just stayed consistent with it all last summer when everybody was laughing at me for using the VeVe app. I kept telling people you should use the VeVe app. You should use the feed. You should post pictures. You should grow a following. But again, it's the psychology aspect. When nobody's doing that, everyone's on other platforms. They're looking at me like, why are you using that, dude? Like, what are you doing? No one else is using that. It doesn't even work good. I'm like, exactly. That's the opportunity. That's the imagine using Instagram when it didn't work good. There's no videos. No one was on it. Imagine all the people that just stopped using it. Then look at all the people that adopted it, went all in. Now they have 100,000 followers and they get paid to post. Now all the people that didn't want to use Instagram when no one used it are obsessed with Instagram, and they're looking at all the influencers like, oh, you're so lucky, blah, blah, blah. I want to be where you're at. It's like, well, you could have been, but you didn't want to use it. Now when everyone's using it, now it's popping. So I think the same thing's going to happen with VeVe app. Once the VeVe app feed, everything gets crystal clean, smooth, not friction. Everybody in the world is going to be on the VeVe app. Why do I think so? Because me personally, I stopped using all these other social platforms when the VeVe app was working a lot better. When there wasn't hundreds of thousands of users, there's only probably about 8,000. The VeVe app was a lot different. There was no spam or anything. It made me only want to use the VeVe app. So I know once that becomes like smooth and like a real social media platform, that's where everybody's going to be. And by then, that's when everybody's going to be grinding for followers. Yo, follow me, blah, blah, blah. But then it's not going to be too late, but you're going to miss a huge golden opportunity right now. So that's why I've been stressing from the beginning, use the platform, post, all kinds of stuff. It's the psychology. It's the same thing. I think it was called the Dublin Good. Shout out to Andre Jig. He made a whole video on this talking about the collectibles. When things are cheap, when there's a lot of them and they're not sold out, it's not enticing to buy that because it looks like no one's interested in it. Todd McFarlane Batman, $80 retail, 6,000 out of 7,500 stayed in stock, in store from November 2020, December 2020, January 2021, February 2021, March 2021, 5 months. 6,000 Todd McFarlane Batmans for $80 stayed in stock in retail. Nobody wanted it. It sold out. All of a sudden, everybody wanted it. The price starts going up. Now they start wanting it. It's the same collectible. It's just the psychology has changed. Same thing's going to happen with the VeVe app. I have almost 4,000 followers right now on the VeVe app. I'm trying to get to 5 and then 10,000 followers. So many things can come from that. Sponsorship deals, being able just to charge $1 for your showroom. You get a new collectible, you post your showroom. 10,000 people can now come in your showroom and pay $1. That's $10,000 in one day if everybody was to do it. $5,000 if half the followers did it. So many great things can come from growing a following on the VeVe app. But most of the time, people just don't want to do it because it's hard right now. It's not as fun right now. And nobody's really on the app right now. Times will change, and then you'll see the FOMO. You'll start to see the dynamic change. So I would just say, try to think always ahead, not what's going on right now. Facts, Mark D. That's the biggest thing right now. There's always things we could have done better here. It's also new. We're making it up as we go, figuring it all out on the fly. It's just so exciting. We're so lucky to be a part of it. Absolutely, man. And I'm glad you get it, Mark D, because there's not many who do. So those that do understand it, it just feels amazing to see because you understand this opportunity right now. This is the same opportunity I feel like when CDs transitioned into digital streaming. So many people said digital streaming is a fad. Digital streaming won't last. I don't like the digital music. I'd rather hold a tangible CD. And then the Napster, the LimeWire, they got regulated. They went away, the Wild Wild West. And then it got regulated. Licensed digital streaming turned into premium licensed digital music collections. Now, digital streaming just is obvious. How do you listen to music? YouTube, Apple Music, Spotify, iTunes. NFTs are the same thing. Right now, we just went from physical collectibles into digital collections, digital collectibles, the Wild Wild West of OpenSea. You got some good things and you got everything. The same way LimeWire, Napster had. That's going to get regulated the same way they did. And it's going to turn into what? Premium licensed digital collectibles from VeVe. VeVe is the Apple Music. VeVe is the iTunes. It's the same exact thing. Feed is the best. You can find some crazy deals. I bet you can find some crazy deals because people just want to sell off some things really quick. Post it on there. JD, do you know what the standard tip is for the escrow person? I don't, Calvin. I think it all depends on the escrow service that you're using, how good of a relationship you have with the person. Like Calvin, if you didn't escrow with me, I probably wouldn't charge you anything. If you didn't escrow with someone else that you don't know, they'd probably charge you $100 or whatever a percentage of the actual deal that you're doing. I would say be careful with escrows though, bro. Just because you don't know, someone could be faking to be someone else. I've seen someone fake to be Comics and Crypto, Sean, and then they got beat or scammed, and it wasn't even the real Comics and Crypto Sean. It was someone pretending to be them. So I would say just be careful, Kelvin. Definitely. Do you think there'll be another big dip? Punch, I think there'll be another dip after another run up. If it dips again hard from where it's at right now, I think either a couple of things probably happen. Either everybody's able to get the MTL, which I don't think will happen. I think that'll still be rolled out slowly. Or there's a huge unannounced drop that happens. And everybody's selling to get gems for that drop. We saw it happen with that $1,000 retail price. Everybody had 1,000 gems in their account to go for the drop. When everybody missed that drop, we saw the market kind of uptick a little bit just because almost everyone, hundreds of thousands, tens of thousands of people, if not hundreds of thousands of people, have 1,000 gems ready to spend now. So if it does dip again, I expect it to bounce back. Johnny Dunn firing off life lessons, zig when everybody else be zagging. This is the way. Absolutely. Shout out to Pirates because he always talks about zigging when everyone's zagging. And it's the truth. I mean, you can break it down in life. You can break it down in collectibles, like its own micro category. I mean, I pretty much zigged when everybody was zagging in life. Everybody was, graduating college, using their degree that they just got. My degree that I got was a teaching degree. Using that degree, get their career job, move out, make your 40K as a teacher before taxes. And for me, like that just wasn't it. Like for me, that was not what I envisioned. That's something that where like I want to go in the back end of my life. If things don't work out in the next years, next decade, I can go back and teach, use my degree, motivate kids, inspire kids. Like I never gave up. I tried this, I tried that, I tried this and that again. Like, so I want to be one of those motivating teachers to inspire kids to go after their dreams. And that's kind of why I zagged to go after my dreams. I was fortunate and blessed to be able to still live at home, to where if my parents, kicked me out, said you can't live here, I probably wouldn't have been able to do that. So I have been in a blessed position, but also because of that, I want to take advantage of the opportunity. I really wanted to go after my dreams. I didn't want to have this blessing to be able to live at home and then just waste that and just go do something that I didn't really love just to fit in with society. Like I would have been pretty unhappy with my life. Not saying anything's wrong with teaching, but just for me, I wasn't ready to do that just yet. So VeVe is way better than IG. I agree, Punch. I so agree. And I noticed when I first joined VeVe, there was no follow spam or anything like that. I stopped. This wasn't like a conscious decision. This was a subconscious decision. And this is just me looking back. And this is also why I think it's going to take over because it's already taken over. When VeVe was still small and there wasn't all that spam, I used the VeVe or I used the Instagram app way less. I used Twitter way less. I was on the VeVe app as my social media first platform because it's the same thing as Instagram, Twitter, all those, but yet you get to actually see what other people own. You get to see what everyone else is into and post the only thing that has to change on the VeVe app for that to take over is one, the algorithm. The algorithm has to get better to where we're not seeing like spam comments, selling comments, stuff like that. But also being able to search for people so I can search for Punch on the VeVe feed. Just it has to get a better algorithm. All kinds of things have to work a little bit more optimal. There's too much friction still right now. There's a lot of lag. Sometimes you'll comment, another comment will come up. It'll take a while. So like that's not really ironed out yet. It's kind of like Facebook before Facebook became Facebook. And also, I was early on Facebook. I was on Facebook in like 2006, which if anybody can remember, that's like unheard of. Everybody was on MySpace. And I was on MySpace back then too, but what happened was I have an older brother and he was into college while I was like early in high school. And so all of our high school friends and everything, we're all on MySpace. And he said that his college friends started to get on this new thing called Facebook. And I was like, let me try it out. And so I got on Facebook, made a Facebook account, like 2006. And it was just plain. There's literally like nothing. There was just white stuff. Like MySpace was popping and popular because you could make your background different colors. You could put music on there. It was more fun, optimal things to do. Facebook was literally just blank white background with like a feed. Not even a feed, I don't think. I don't even know what was on there in the very beginning. But it was literally just nothing. So I was like, this sucks. You know, this is not a fun app. So I didn't get rid of it. I just always used MySpace. And now looking back to see the year that I joined Facebook, I was like, wow. So I've always kind of been a pioneer getting on things early and getting a feel for where the world is. MySpace missed the opportunity to keep adapting. That's how Facebook was able to take over and be what they are right now because of Mark Zuckerberg. Like him or not, the dude is great at what he does, keeps adapting. And that's what I think the key in life is, to keep adapting. Yeah, I would stay away from any kind of Telegram groups or anything like that because you never know on Telegram. I feel like it's a lot easier to fake an identity there. I might have delisted my Storm. No, I relisted my Storm, but for like a buyable price. I think I listed for only like 1,300. 1,300's a steal right now. Not trying to pump it, but I may end up delisting it again. So Johnny Boy, if you want to find I think the market's still down. The market's open actually. All right, let's check it out. Maybe I was late. 10 secret rares going for 489 already. Shout out to anybody who got in there early. They were trying to get it off for 1,900. I would have done the same thing. But it's dipped from 9 to 6 to 5 to 4. Now it's 489. 479. The ultra rare 21 available. It's 172. 38 rares available. $55. The uncommon 36 available. $18. Really 23, I think. And then $14 for the common. 85 available. So let's see, if you want to find me on the VeVe app, I have my Mickey Mouse lenticular card, 9.9 mil, my Secret Rare Spider-Man, 9.9 mil, my Ultra Rare Captain America, 9.9 mil. I don't know why I don't have my Secret Rare Captain America listed. Yeah, if you guys want to follow me back, anyone who follows me recently, I'll try to follow back real quick. All my notifications are up. We got Mr. Las Vegas. Let's go. There he is, Johnny Boy. Let's go. I just followed you back. Oh, let's go. You got your Secret Rare stunting. Secret Rare 65. Shout out to my guy, Johnny Boy. You're Johnny West Coast. I'm Johnny East Coast. I like that. Yeah, West Coast is definitely somewhere where I got to be eventually. I'm a big fan of the warm weather, man. Can't stand the cold. So, like, Final Destinations for me. That sounds terrible to say that movie. Let's hope nothing like that happens. But place where I want to end up in life, I feel like is either like Miami, Florida, somewhere down there in Florida weather. Maybe it's Texas. I love Texas too. Big fan of Texas. Or maybe somewhere in the West Coast, Cali. Big fan of Cali too. Haven't been to Cali. I'd like to visit California. Somewhere on that West Coast. Texas is another place down south. Those are like my 3 places that I want to eventually. Or South Carolina, like Myrtle Beach. I've been there once and wow. I would say there's 4 places for me. Those are my go-to spots. Yes, sir. Glad you found me. Yes, computer games too. Thank you, Ronnie. Like, this is something I've been forgetting to kind of mention, how it's such a similar transition. It's crazy that it's actually gone this way because it doesn't seem long ago where you go to GameStop, you buy your physical game, and then you go put it in the Xbox or PlayStation, whatever you have, right? Well, now you don't even need to do that. You just download the game. You still have that licensed game, but it's just digitally. You own it digitally. Now the only difference with that is if you could somehow resell that digital game. Now that would be a game changer. Chasing Sundays gave me a follow. I'm already following you though, so appreciate that. You like my profile. All that kind of stuff helps out big time. Like, let's see how many. I just got over 18K total profile views. Let's go. And those are some metrics that like I pay attention to because again, I've been thinking about this since last March. It's crazy that it's actually finally here in the 1 year anniversary is coming up. I post my first showroom all the time to really look through the comments. If you look through the comments, it's unbelievable. You can see in there that I talk to people. And back March 2021 now, I tell people in the comments, like, I'm going to see if I can post it and then I'll just read through it on the live here instead of just guessing what I'm talking about. I'll just write OG Batcave or something. All right. 331 comments. I think it's like it used to be your very first comments would be very top. Now it's at the very bottom. It's kind of like switched, I think. I said it 1 year ago. I can't wait till VeVe partners with Snapchat / Instagram / Oculus. AR glasses will be insane. Like, this is crazy. Like, this is what I was thinking of back then. Shout out to Cavell again. Cavell's in the comments asking questions, and like this shows you, the open-mindedness of people like this, because when you don't know things, you ask questions. You don't have an ego and not ask questions. He was open-minded enough to ask questions, to figure it out. And look where he's blossomed into now. Like, it's unbelievable to see stuff like that. This is the comment that I've been looking for. Oh my gosh. 1 year ago, I almost don't want to sell anything. I want to just have people come in, pay a small fee, and be able to come walk around Johnny's Batcave or Johnny's World. Insane. 1 year ago. Like, that's where my mindset's been this whole entire time. So another reason why that was kind of all to say the reason why I'm following the metrics and like how many people view my profile, because I want to be able to get a brand sponsorship deal with Coca-Cola, with some of these big time brands, and being able to say like, well, I have 20,000 people walking in and out of my showroom every week. If I have a Coca-Cola 777 to match my Johnny Dunn 777 brand, maybe we could ink some kind of partnership deal because I'm getting 20,000 people walking in and out of my showroom to see your Coca-Cola bottle. So stuff like that, I've been just thinking about how I can kind of tailor this to make, because this is something that I'm trying to make into a career, a lifelong master collector type thing. I've always said how VeVe, like I've dedicated my entire life to this because it wasn't really so much about the money short term. I've always been trying to build a legacy. And so that's what these brands are doing too. They're not trying to come on something for a quick, year or two. They're doing something that's going to last decades. Disney isn't about making a quick buck right now. They're about making sure their legacy is implemented. They're going to be immortal now because they're on the blockchain forever. Think about that. Yeah, market's open. Market's open. Thank you guys. I'm kind of late on these chats tonight. Show my age with MySpace. Crazy, right? Solid move right there, DRM. Yeah, that's a good comparison right there. Absolutely. Johnny 5 was taken. Let's go. Chasing Sundays. I saw that. I've already been following you, brother. Zombie Freak. Hopefully I was able to follow you back. If anyone's wondering why I haven't followed them back, it's because I have so many notifications to where you literally can only scroll down so many. So if I missed you and you want me to follow you, you'll have to list something for like a the max 9.9 mil, and just let me know and I'll follow you. I feel like I'm probably following the most amount of people in the entire world. I felt like I'm Tom from MySpace. What state are you in? I'm in Jersey, East Coast. Shout out to anyone else from New Jersey. Born and raised in Jersey, so we're stuck with the Jersey weather, the snow, and stuff like that. Houston, Texas. Yeah, Texas definitely. I got a brother who lives in Texas. I would definitely love to go down there and visit and probably stay there. Where can I find you on VeVe? Appreciate you guys for asking how to find me. So if anyone wants to try to find me, I always have listed a couple big collectibles for the max amount. So Secret Rare Spider-Man, I have mine listed for 9.9 mil. I'm about to go in and list some other ones for big amount. Superman. I'm going to list my Superman for 9.9. Now, even when you're playing around and you list things, take your time, especially dealing with big time collectibles. There is a double confirmation page, but sometimes you can be moving quick and you make a mistake. One thing that you want to do is always double check. There's nothing wrong with taking an extra minute, taking an extra second, Even when you think you have it all listed right, just triple check yourself. I'll go to Walt. If anyone has a Walt and wants to check out Walt, I'll list one of my Walts for 9.9. Like, I've been so blessed, guys, to where, like, VeVe, I haven't even cashed out anything either. So, I mean, technically, I haven't been blessed just yet with money. But, I mean, I'm in it for a long haul. I think money will come eventually. Like I said, I'm more so in this. I've always thought of myself as a living legend. And so I'm building my legacy. And I expect everyone to think that about themselves. I feel like every human has a reason, has a purpose. And it's all about just never giving up in life and going after things that you love. And eventually things will work out the way you always envisioned it. The problem is that it may not go a straight line. It may go here, obstacle there, obstacle here. But it's all about, if you pick something or pick things that you absolutely love, those obstacles won't really be a final obstacle. It's just you're going to figure out a way to get around it. And don't give up, because even when times get tough and you feel like you can't see the light at the end of the tunnel, that's a time where you dig deep, put on your blinders, and just put one foot in front of the other. Just keep going. Don't stop. And eventually you'll get through that hard time. You'll see the vision. You'll see what you're supposed to be seeing at the very end, and you'll be able to get there. Like, I never knew or I even thought of NFTs would be where I would be, just a year and a half ago, before March last year. So it's just been a blessing. And I feel like it's possible for anyone else to make a huge come up on VeVe. It may not be right away. It may not be one drop. It may be a huge move you made in the marketplace. It may not even be a drop. Maybe you get lucky and you see an iconic collectible that stands out to you and going for pretty cheap, and you just make a move in the market, ends up being a $10,000 collectible. I've seen so many people start out with a few hundred and get to a $10,000 plus valuation, or even higher, 20,000. So I feel like my example is just different than most people, because I feel like my situation is like a unicorn. It's like I found Amazon at $1 type thing. And so I love hearing stories when people just find VeVe and make a huge come up, because those are stories that I feel like can be told to everybody who's just finding VeVe right now. Let's go, Russells. Appreciate that. So you kind of do have to list the VeVe NFTs. Make sure if you do list anything for the max amount, in case they do sell, you'll be okay with it. I'm hoping obviously my Secret Spider-Man doesn't sell right now, but if it did sell, it'd be the greatest $9.9 million mistake ever. I'll just buy back the floor. But portfolio right now, we can't search for usernames, so that's the only downside. Yeah, so really, good question. Do you think the Comey is focusing enough on their OMI token? It's been down for almost a year now. And so it's actually been down, for longer than that. When they started the OMI token. But you got to remember that the founders own a lot of OMI tokens. David, Dan, I mean, the team owns OMI. So it's in every incentive for them to make the OMI token valuable. It's just it's all geared on the VeVe app. So right now, and for the past couple of years, they've been trying to make that foundation solidified, making sure the VeVe app is the best platform in the world. And so most people found out about it too early. So they had to kind of re-engineer the app, kind of set them back a little bit to be able to handle that load. But I think that in order to have the Okomi token work the way they want it to work, the VeVe app has to be perfect. It has to be solidified. The foundation has to be set. So it is kind of low. They're not focusing too much on the OMI right now, just because there's a lot of things that had to happen first. We had to be on the Ethereum network first. That was a huge game-changing aspect. I mean, it was on GoChain for the longest time. So because of that, kind of set it back from being on major exchanges. But now that we're on Ethereum, now that the VeVe app's getting going where it's supposed to be, I think this is the year that the OMI token starts to really move. I mean, there hasn't even really been too much utility for the OMI token. Once we can start buying these NFTs with OMI, that'll help big time. Maybe other platforms start using the OMI token. That'll be game-changing. A lot of things that can definitely happen for it still. Go NFTs. Let's go. Punch. It's one of those things where, like, I really hope the only thing that would be kind of upset if it's sold right now would be my Secret Rare Spider-Man. I don't see it listed either. Why don't I see my Secret Rare Spider-Man listed right now? Kind of getting worried. Sometimes that is why I delist things, just because I have too many things in my listed to where, like, you can't see them all. But Punch, to answer this question, if everything did sell, that would be insane. Yeah, why is my thing not listed right there? I guess I took my secret. Oh, my. It says it's listed, but I can't see it. Interesting. I wonder why I can't see it. I can't even see it in the market either. Shout out to Lewis Morgan. Yeah, it should be. Should be there. I'm not sure why. That'd be a crazy thing to happen, Punch, if they all sold right now. Portfolio is saying you can search for people. I don't think you can, my man. I know you can tag people. That's one thing you can do, but you can't search for people yet. Someone drunk buys all this stuff. That's solid right there. A three-digit Donald Lenticular card at the floor. That's big time. I'm surprised you picked one up for that cheap. So that's just to answer that question, Billy. I think this is the year that the OMI token does do a lot of big things. But again, when you're making something as big as what I believe the OMI token will be, I mean, the founders both have a lot of OMI tokens too. So it's not like they get paid off these VeVe NFTs. A lot of this money goes to the licensors to keep the business running. How I think they're going to, make out big in this is when the OMI price does go up. I always say these VeVe NFTs is like the fleet of cars. It's the fun aspect. It's what everybody collects. But the gasoline, the fuel that fuels it all is the OMI token. Imagine when land purchases happen in OMI, when accessories are being able to be bought in OMI, when the NFTs are being able to be bought in OMI. Then when other apps, other platforms start adopting the OMI token as their currency, let's take off time. Yeah, shoot me a DM on Twitter, Portfolio. I'm going to go over the prices one last time in the market. All right, so the common is going for $33 right now. Oh, I'm sorry. This is Marvel Spotlight. Wrong comic book. We have 408 commons. Tales of Suspense. $12 is the floor. We have 177 uncommon. $15 is the floor. 92 rares going for $48. 63 ultra rares going for $120. Secret rare, 33 of them going for 440. Great question, Chasing Sundays. I wonder if the team will ever have a place to see previous sales, and I wonder what the highest sale in VeVe history is. So I think this is going to happen once we have the VeVe app, the web app, I should say, the VeVe web app. So many things are going to happen once we can actually use the VeVe app on the website. I think that'll be one of the things. We're going to be able to see the history of these collectibles a little bit better. Who was the previous owners? What was the previous sales of these? And probably just overall, the biggest sales. They may not have that, but I definitely think that they're going to be able to see the previous sales on each collectible. So you'll be able to find out that way. And it's just going to be game changing. I mean, I'll be able to create these showrooms on the web app. That means I'll probably be able to live stream myself creating these showrooms. That's going to be fun to do. I can't wait for that. I've been envisioning for that to happen. Some nights if I just get bored, live stream like I used to do, late night live streams, and just create showrooms from the very beginning, from scratch. Kind of show you guys how I do it. I think it'll be fun for people just to watch, tune in, hang out while I make some of these showrooms. And maybe I'll incorporate some of your feedback. Maybe you guys want a showroom themed, something crazy, and I'll make that happen. I think the web app will be great for many different things, including being able to add more money in. Right now, everybody's kind of restricted to the $600 max for amount at a time. Well, there's big time people waiting to put in not just 600, but maybe 60 grand, 100,000. Imagine how many fees they would get hit with if they had to put in 600 gems every single time, right? The web app, I think, will allow people to be able to put in a lot more money, have people be able to convert their Ethereum to OMI on the web app, buy these NFTs with that. So just try to imagine that, right? You have, say, 100 ETH, buying all these NFTs on OpenSea. You find VeVe. You're able to convert your ETH to OMI and buy NFTs with OMI. Woo! So I think the web app will be big for so many different things. That's going to be game changing, I think. Plus, we'll probably start to see the first iterations of the VeVeverse. How I'm kind of seeing what will happen is what I'm kind of guessing. It won't be like a full out, metaverse right away. It'll probably just be like slow iterations to where we can probably see each other's showrooms at that point. It'll be a little bit easier. Maybe interact in the showrooms with multiplayer, like Chasing Sundays. I could probably search for your profile, go into your showroom, have you in the showroom with me in there at the same time type thing. I'm guessing it's going to be stuff like that at first until the whole VeVe City gets rolled out, etc. Yeah, for me, I'm kind of staying away from this this comic book right now just because I don't really love it, and I think there will be other opportunities, other comics to get dropped. The situation just followed me. Let's go. Give you a follow back. Jot 33. Give you a follow back. Oh, that's Josh Tran. Let's go. My guy. South Bay Point. Give you a follow back. Let's go. You got the zombie Captain Americas. Okay. Thought about letting go some of my zombie Captain Americas recently. I didn't, though. We got K Gart. So, K Gart, I can't follow you back just because your profile is private. And that's okay if you want to keep it private, but just to let you know, I won't be able to follow you back. DRM, let's go. Follow DRM back. Oh, he's got the Secret Rare Spidey and the Todd chilling. Superman, Steamboat Willie. You got some top tier collectibles. I love seeing that. 2 Waltz. Let's go. Yeah, you're killing it, DRM. You got the whole Disney set too, it looks like. Secret Rare Dragon Girls. Let's go. Man, I love seeing good collectibles like that. Go NFTs. Your profile is private, my man. I can't follow you back. What do you think about the market in the short term? Keystones. I think the market right now would be a good accumulation time. Not financial advice. I'm not a financial advisor. All opinions only. The market, I feel like, is low right now. It's not really the best time, in my opinion, to be selling, just because I do think that a lot of these collectibles have a low supply, meaning it's only going to take a few purchases to get these floors moving big time. So I think right now is the time to maybe accumulate or just hold. Or maybe if you have to let some go, like I've let some collectibles go to make moves and some more that I think are going to run up quicker. It's always a little bit risky, but I think having a few duplicates definitely helps out that situation. Like I think comics are gonna boom soon. So I wanted to stack up with some extra comics. Okay, Gart, let's go. You made it unprivate. Just gave you a follow. Who else was private? Someone else. Oh, go NFTs. Go NFTs is public now. Let's go. My guys are watching the stream. Shout out to you guys. Let's go. Go NFTs. Join during the Disney week. Wow, what a week, right? That week was crazy because you even say in your profile, I couldn't wrap my head around the significance of that week. Yeah. And so it's hard to kind of wrap your head around those moments because every drop seems big, right? So it's so important to kind of zoom out when those drops get announced or when they happen and try to think of like the long-term impact. And so during that Disney week, it did feel magical. So many times on the stream, I kept saying, this is the week to where, time's going to go by. And if you just come away with one of these drops, one of these golden moments, you're going to come back and just say, wow, because I truly believe back then just having one of these will be iconic. It was almost like Disney saying, here's our major, brands or different things that we own, different routes we could go, and here's the first ones of them all. Meaning, I'm sure we're going to get tons. Let me go through them all just to have the actual names like Disney Animation Studios. I'm sure we're going to get tons from them. I'm sure we're going to get different Fox ones. Imagine when we get the whole Simpsons. Simpsons will probably be a drop, and we'll probably have the first Simpsons being like Homer, Marge, Bart, Lisa, and it'll be in their actual colors, not gold, and it won't be the FA of Homer. It'll be the FA of Marge, Lisa, all the other iconic Disney characters. And that's when I see Homer going crazy. That's when I see the Homer going a moment going off. But we have all different, like we have Pixar. I'm sure we're gonna have Pixar collectibles, from, let's see here. Yeah, series. So the pizza truck, the Wall-E, license is Disney. The series is Pixar. So that shows me that we're gonna have a whole bunch of different collectibles from Pixar. And then these will be big because these are the first ones of them. So I do think all those golden moments are gonna be big. Positive vibes only, Punch. Let's go. Yeah, absolutely. Yep. And that's why we just saw a lot of buying or selling pressure in the market because a lot of people don't have the cash just to add in another $600, right? And people didn't want to get hit with that fee twice. So I think that's why we saw the market dip a little bit. People were gearing up to have 1,000 gems in their account for that drop. And that was the most expensive drop we've ever seen on VeVe. Before that, it was the $400 secret rares, Captain America, and Spider-Man. And I think the reason why they did the Aston Martin, the $1,000 retail, is because they wanted to keep that car. That probably came from the licensor because they want to keep that car as something that not everybody can afford. In the real world, not everybody can afford an Aston Martin, especially the DB5 one collectible. There's only, I think, 1,080 of them in the physical real world. So I definitely think they probably had a say in that to keep it exclusive, to keep it high end. They don't want to dilute their brand. Or if they made the Aston Martin like $50 and 10,000 editions or 20,000 editions, I think their brand might get upset about that. Have you seen how many of A and B tier secret and ultra rare comics have been bought out from the market? I really feel like comic season is about to start. I think so too, really. I think the supply on a lot of them have been extremely low, meaning that tells me that they're about to go boom sometime soon. I don't know exactly when, but when you have a supply very, very low and the demand is high, I think it's only going to take one announcement for them to say, even just a date of when comics can get in the showroom, people are going to go shop them hard, I think. Comics definitely have huge growth potential, I think. I think a lot of them do. Okay, so you joined like right before the massive pump. Absolutely chasing Sundays. And so I think, I mean, it's unfortunate for the people that joined, I would say mid-January, because that's when we saw all-time highs, and a lot of people did buy at that point. And now we see things retrace a lot. So a lot of, not a lot, but some people definitely might be in the negative because of that reason. But I would just, and if you are in that situation, I would just remind you that you're only at a loss when you sell. Now, there's a lot of times, even me, an OG that was here since last March, almost a year now, a lot of times where I had to hold. And this is the reason why I'll kind of go over the trajectory. So I came in March. The market was only open a few days, like a handful of days. I made one purchase in the market. I was buying everything from the store itself before things sold out. I made one purchase in the marketplace, the secondary marketplace. I think Rizzo's were going for $500 at the time. Starfire was $83. I bought one Starfire, and then the market shut down. As soon as I bought that, like the next few hours, it was at night, it shut down for like a month or two. And so when it shut down, I mean, nobody had access to the market. You can only get these collectibles, either I believe on the drop, or you had to just trust somebody and get them off the market, like we do now with escrows or something like that. And a lot of times that was an unsafe period for a lot of people. A lot of scams happened and all that kind of stuff. But that's also when I was buying a lot of my collectibles. So I did pay a lot of money for a lot of mine. Big Bard, I paid like over $1,000. Even the Marceline, I paid a lot of money for at the time. The other ultra rare in that group, the can't believe I can't think of it right now. The Lady Unicorn, paid a lot for that one too. As soon as I paid for it, a lot of these prices dipped. That summer period, they got cut in half. A lot of them, kind of like what people are going through right now. Like the January, if you join mid-January, now the prices kind of retrace a little bit, might be in half. And I just held through. I held through those months when they were at a low period, and then they boomed. So I mean, I think that pattern is going to happen again and again and probably again. History usually repeats itself, so it's just a matter of holding, in my opinion. Top 5 comics, in my opinion. So, first comic, Marvel Comics #1. I definitely have to say that's probably #1 comic on VeVe for many reasons, just because it's the first comic book ever on the app. The historical value of that is going to be amazing. First ever Marvel comic book, too. So, that's going to be a big deal, I think. It's the one that started it all, you know? I think the first comic books that they release are going to be crucial. The Fantastic Four #1. I think even Journey into Mystery is up there. I think Amazing Spider-Man #1's up there. And I would probably have to say Fantastic Four #5. Those are some of my top comic books on VeVe. Yeah, I'm still streaming right now. It's kind of getting long. Shout out to Mr. Locknet. So Kyle, hopefully that kind of helps. Again, these are just my opinions. A lot of that probably has to do with me, constantly picking the brains of sleeping comics and crypto. And those are just my opinions, what I came to, my conclusion. Those are like the top comics on VeVe for me. I definitely see them being top tier probably forever, no matter what limited release they do run. And that's why I don't have the 252 in my top 5, just because if they came out and said that was going to be the only super limited comic book that they'll do, then I would say, yeah, that might be up there, and I would probably try to get that one. But the fact that they have said that there's going to be more of them, that just opened the can of worms for me. I was like, oh man, all right, so then that's going to be another $5,000 purchase and another, and I'm not going to be able to keep that up. At least I don't think so. Maybe I will be, but not right now. So, and because of that reason too, I would say that's the reason why that one's not in my top 5. But yeah, I definitely think those are my top comics on the VeVe app. Amazing family. Absolutely. Let's see. Yeah, James Brown, I definitely like the comics. I think it's almost comic time. They have said in the last AMA that we will be able to put these comics in like cases in our showrooms to show off the mint number, probably the rarity too. So I think that's gonna be big. I think it's gonna look amazing too. Finally, we can put them on our profile, the showrooms. Like, just think of the prices right now. Like, think if we couldn't put our collectibles in the showroom to show them off. We haven't been able to with the comics, so I think the comics could definitely run up big time. But that's all for today's show. Appreciate you guys big time. Make sure you guys stay up to date. You know, subscribe to the YouTube channel, Instagram. Try to make sure I post all the updates, announcements, any kind of new drop that happens. I try to make sure I get it out as quick as I can. Like, as quick as I can. Lately, I've been doing it as soon as they tweet it. So, got my notifications on for them. Hopefully, you got the notifications on for me. Appreciate you guys big time for tuning into all the live streams, the comments, the likes. It helps out big time. Appreciate all the support. Make sure you guys tune in for the next live stream. I'll see you guys then. I'm signing out. It's your boy, Johnny Dunn. We out, fam.